Take me out to the ball game, and the college ball game, and the hockey game, and the NBA game. You get what I'm saying. Hello and welcome back to The House That Happens, sponsored by Shoes Bar & Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke. Voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA. It's number 1 in our hearts. The Phoenix rising from the ashes. Hi, I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz. How you doing, buddy?
Good, and we should mention that we are at San Francesco Foods in Erin Mills.
The only place to be in suburban Erin Mills.
There you go.
Suburban Mississauga. We probably are, this is like our second time here, so it's probably going to be a perennial trip to the western part of the GTA to otherwise open what is a glorious baseball season, which we will have a lot to say about today, don't you think?
Absolutely. We have guest Kevin Pitt coming on later in the show. We are very excited for that.
100%. We know Pick is here right now. He's taking care of the kids. I understand all these young men with children, and it's Saturday morning. You know, Mama's saying, hey, it's your turn.
Yeah.
You know, kind of deal. But, yeah, we're expecting him here any minute. I'm glad he's going to make it. It's going to make it for a lot of fun. How was your week?
Not bad. How about yours?
It was actually pretty darn good. I want to give a huge shout-out to the people at Drums and Flats for once again having Zeppology there on a Friday night. It was an absolutely amazing evening. The energy in the room was off the charts, and for my 300th time seeing this band, they absolutely killed it again.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Oh, no, they were great. Absolutely great. And boys, if you're listening, and maybe Mr. Tim Hayes is, you mixed up the set again last night, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yep. And what did you do this week? Didn't you do something eventful?
Not really.
Didn't you see a movie?
No.
I talked to more humans this week than I normally do, so I'm probably mixing up who told me about movies and who told me about people, and I don't always connect the dots. But there's supposed to be a good movie opening this week, isn't there?
I'm not sure. Is there?
There's somebody told me some big movie's coming. Oh, you know what I think it was?
What?
Minecraft movie's coming.
Oh, I'm not interested.
I might go with my granddaughter because she grew up on that shit, so she asked me.
Oh, she asked you to see it?
Yeah, she goes,
let me know.
Yeah, she said, let's go and go. She said, we got to see it at IMAX, Papa. But I grew up watching her.
I love Minecraft, the game.
Yeah, that was one of the first one. I didn't know what the hell she was doing, but I was there when she'd build stuff, and it was kind of cool. So I knew a lot about Minecraft, and Dan TDM and all those YouTube blogger guys that would do it. They would just, their voices would drive me nuts. I didn't mind they had blue hair and like green clothes and all that, but their voices were irritating, and my granddaughter would be just mesmerized with these guys, telling her how, like if she couldn't figure something out, you go to the blogger, and the blogger says, if you try this, and this, you'll get this. Yeah, so she'd be there, but the guys' voices. But perhaps I'll go see it just for old time's sake.
For old time's sake. Mm-hmm. I'd like to shout out my friends Marco and Kate. They are expecting a young one on the way soon, so big congratulations from the house.
Did you hear what we were saying there, buddy, about Kevin Pick on our way here? You'll be there in about 5 years. Maybe sooner. Maybe sooner. God bless the kids.
Best of luck. Couldn't be happy for you guys.
And I'm going to tell this. Make sure they get their measles shots. What's going on in our world today?
I know.
We got a breakout of measles. How in the hell did that happen? Like, that's crazy. This is 2024. That's some kind of disinformation shit's got to be going 100%. On somewhere that kids, like, I just seen it because I don't really watch the news. They were showing up hands. I go, what's that? 100 people or 200 people break out in Ontario, kids with frickin' measles. This is 2025, people. What are you listening to? Protect your children. You know, not all vaccines are bad or whatever the case may be, but protect the kids.
Protect the kids, number one. You got any more shout-outs?
I'm trying to think if there's something else I wanted to shout out. Oh, if it's finally they're going to listen to Sheba's the owner, my 2 senior guys in Etobicoke that walk the dogs and we're all retired. And I said nice things to the Toronto Maple Leafs about them, and I finally gave them the hookup for the show. So I hope you guys are listening because I do say nice things about the Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, they were very disappointed in Toronto not getting that point from San Jose.
Well, who wasn't?
You know what I mean? After a great ending, but we'll get to that later.
We will. Okay. I'd like to shout out the Penticton Vs getting awarded a WHL franchise in the fall. I know all 3 of those leagues are basically looking to expand.
Something like that, yeah.
So we'll see. And the OHL, CHL playoffs have begun, as well as the minor hockey OHL Cup. I believe that was completed. Obviously, big shout out to the Oshawa Generals, Zach Sandu, Serge's nephew.
They won last night, didn't they? I believe they won.
They played Brampton. We should get to a game.
Yes, we should go now because I think next week they're playing in Brampton, aren't they?
Yeah, games 3 and 4.
We're going to make a point of that. I was talking about Serge about it last night, but there was other things involved, so things got blurry. But we will attend to that after the show. We'll talk about it. Definitely.
Yes,
Big
absolutely.
shout out to Zach Sandu.
Oshawa, I know they got some unfinished business.
Yes, they do.
They lost in the finals last year to London, did they not?
Yes, they do. So it should be good.
Should be good. You got any more?
No, we're pretty well on our way because we got a lot to say about baseball. We're going to move this along. And understanding that we are at San Fran here in the heart of Erin Mills, we will have a probably appearance by a number of the San Fran Sluggers today. So if it gets a little chaotic, we're warning you now.
Yeah, we got a rotating fourth mic ready to go. But
yes, we do.
We'll move this on to the NFL where couple quarterbacks, or one quarterback at least got signed. One is off the market. Russell Wilson off to the Giants, 1-year deal, $21 million. And then the New England Patriots, my Pats, signed Stephon Diggs for 3 years, $69 million, and he's on track to play for Week 1.
Yeah, that was surprising. But you know what? The thing about Stephon Diggs, how many players came out this week that said how good he is in the dressing room? Mm-hmm. And he's got that rap because he's gone from teams to teams. They're going, no, man, the guy's just highly competitive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And what's wrong with that? I was surprised at the money. I was surprised at the money, but New England's got it.
Of course, they tons of cap space, weaponize it.
Exactly, and not only that, Drake May needed some targets. You know what I mean? So why not? I think it was a pretty good thing, pretty good signing myself. I think the hilarious thing is Russell Wilson going to the Giants. Like, that's just an absolute, what's going on with the Giants?
Right.
I'm not big
on...
Well,
what other choice do they have?
Okay, well, they could have called me. You know what I mean? I don't know how far I could throw it, but... I'm not a big AI guy. And as I think I told you last week, AI has handed me to, when I go on now, I scroll faster because I don't know what to believe anymore. However, there is one out there if you get to see AI job of Mike Tomlin saying why Russell Wilson is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler. Yes, start laughing now. Do yourself a favor. I don't know how you find these things. I guess you hit Google.
Yeah, that might be on YouTube or something.
Whatever. Go find Mike Tomlin saying why Russell Wilson is no longer a Pittsburgh. I watched it. I listened to it twice because it was so funny. Go listen to it.
Yeah,
and
those are great.
But the Mike Tomlin voice, and and he brought along what's her name? The bad enough he can't throw no more, but he brought along that singer chick or something.
I don't know.
What's his wife's name?
Sierra.
Yeah, Tomlin tied into that, and it's just absolutely hilarious. Which brings us to the elephant in the room, Aaron Rodgers.
Still on the market.
Love it. I love it.
We know where he's going.
Of course. Okay. Do you think he's going?
Pittsburgh.
Okay, so a couple guys, when we said that last week, Hayward's still cracking off. Do you want to be a Steeler or not? Okay, I think it's... There's a mutual admiration society. We do know that between Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers.
Big time.
I found now it's gotten to a point where Aaron Rodgers is either the most loved or most hated guy in the NFL. Depends on what side of the fence you're on.
Yeah, it depends who you talk to.
Exactly. There's no in between on this guy anymore. It's just like, wow, how did he get here? You know why he gets here? Because he is smarter than most people for the start. Mm-hmm. It's maybe the way he presents his intelligence that pisses people off.
Yeah, definitely the way he presents himself.
Do you think he's going to end up going with Pittsburgh? I see it too.
Where else?
Or he's going to retire.
He's going to
retire.
I don't
maybe
buy that.
Maybe he's going to retire.
He's bluffing.
Are you thinking that he's presenting a little bit of drama for the team? We don't have drama in the NFL, do we?
Just more fodder for people like us to talk about.
There you go. But anyway, it should be interesting, and I hope he signs because Pittsburgh's they signed another guy on for their O-line, and I do believe that their position in the draft.
Pittsburgh?
Their position in the draft this year where they are, because they wouldn't get to a Cam Ward or anything like that, but their position's in there that they could probably draft themselves an O-lineman that will have immediate impact on their season. Because what are they picking?
They're still going in with the same O-line coach, though, so they're still going to be a mess.
Well, he's the guy that said, no, we get rid of these guys. We need better guys. I can't work with these guys. I don't know. It could be the coach or not, but I do understand that they're in a position to, when they draft, that they'll probably, because what are they? They're 20-something, I believe.
Yeah, they're not that high.
And I've seen 2 or 3 mock drafts, and every one of them have said that Pittsburgh will probably end up taking a lineman, which everyone should. My Lions. It's projected the first thing that the Lions are taking, because I think we have 2 picks in the first round. We're projected to take linemen both times. I don't have a problem with that.
It's the backbone of your football team.
Thank you very much. And then and keeping the contracts down.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Because it's going to be interesting what I'm going to be watching to watch the evolution of how it works for the draft a little bit quicker. I'm going to be just watching what Philadelphia does in respect that they lost 6 starters.
Yeah, they need to do something.
Or is it 6 rotation players on their defense?
Either way, that's huge.
Whatever the case may be, 6 of these guys are gone.
Yeah.
Whew. And what won them that Super Bowl?
Their depth.
So I'll be interested just to watch the progression of teams that want to take it to the next level, because you got to give that Howie Rosen guy credit, because Philadelphia has been to the Super Bowl
This is 2 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and they've been there. This is their 3rd time in the last 10 years.
Yeah, true.
So whatever they're doing, they should be a template. Not that I'm a Philadelphia fan, but they should be a template for what you're doing in the draft room anyway. But yeah, we will see this week. Aaron Rodgers, I think that he's gone to one of those blackness places, they said.
Oh, my God.
No phone, no internet.
Enjoy.
No weather balloons, no, I don't know. Living like the Mennonites.
No carrier pigeons.
No carrier pigeons. You're just out there with your mind. Good luck, Erin. We'll see.
We will see, and we will move this along to the PWHL, where Sarah Nurse was back for Toronto Scepter. She will be back for Team Canada as well.
Yep.
She was back against Montreal, where they scraped out a 2-1 win at Montreal. Natalie Spooner scored the winner, assisted by Nurse in her return. Campbell, 32 saves. Now, this is something I found interesting. Marie-Philippe Poulin got her league-leading 15th goal. She's got Cy Young numbers, 15 goals, 5 assists on the year.
That's pretty good. That's a Montreal girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know when I was watching the game, and it's true when you watch them, Montreal always goes forward. They can't score. Like, they're a good team.
They're a brick wall defensively, though.
That's what I'm saying. To get them to score on them. Like, they play that system, and I think they even play 5, someone brought it up on the broadcast. They play 5 people units. So when these 5 go on, I think they do, or at least 2 of their units, they move them in 5s, and they're excellent defensively, and they're hard to break down. But nobody shoots.
Yeah.
They skate well. You know what they look like? They're on constant penalty kill, and they're very good at it. That's what it looks like. They're on a constant penalty kill, and they're good at it. But you know,
I'm starting to understand why they got bounced in the first round last year.
And it could very well happen this year. They got to get some more scoring. That's what I like about Toronto. We've got a couple of girls that can score. And you know what I liked about it too? When things were tight down there and they couldn't break down Montreal's defense at times, they were just firing the puck. Mm-hmm. My theory, it's going around. Have you noticed lately? Oh, we can't, not working. Shoot the puck. And they shoot a little bit more, which is beneficial. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to shoot and go get it.
Absolutely.
You know?
And Toronto did shoot it at their next game as well. They won 4-2 at Boston, exploding for 4 goals in the third period. Yep. Darryl Watts had 2 of them. Campbell, another great game, 28 saves.
And that put them now, what? There's just 1 point behind Montreal?
They are 3 points behind Montreal.
Oh, yeah, because Montreal ended up beating.
But Toronto has the tiebreaker with 4 games left.
And what's Montreal's only has 3, right?
What do you mean? Oh, no, they have 4 as well. Montreal's the only team that's clinched a playoff spot.
I still say Montreal's probably the front runner to win, to be the number 1 team afterwards, because their schedule says they're playing New York and whoever. So that's probably going to be wins on their part.
Yeah, but Toronto's put some distance between themselves and Boston.
Yes. They're going to look like they're going to have a home field advantage here. Good luck, girls. You've been playing great.
Yeah, and it looks like that's probably going to be the first round, Toronto-Boston. Ottawa's still in it for that last seed. They could pass Minnesota still. They are 2 points back with the game in hand.
Interesting.
And Toronto plays Minnesota tomorrow, actually. That's the last game before World Championship break.
And it's odd because, about a month ago we were talking about that perhaps Montreal and Minnesota was starting to separate themselves from the pack. And since we said that, Minnesota's pretty well fallen off the cliff. What are they? They've lost 3 of their last 5, or 4 of their last 5 or something like that.
Let me check their schedule.
Something like that, I'm pretty sure. Toronto's one of the teams that beat them, and I think Montreal beat them too. So it should be interesting.
Not good.
I thought they were going to be better, but I'm liking our position in Toronto. We are the house that happens, Toronto-centric. Toronto wins I'm very happy with that, excluding what the Leafs do. That's another story. But
and I said it was good for the city.
It's good for our city. That's where I'll take it. I'm still doing this though, because you know what we've been doing, and it should be maybe part of how we'll name the show today, because we're seeing so many uniforms. I still have trouble.
Minnesota's lost their last 3, by the way.
What is 3, right? Yeah, that was 3. Is it 3 of their last 5, or there's just 3 in a row?
3 in a row.
Yeah. That's 9 points difference in this league when you talk about the 3-point wins.
Yes.
Okay, but I'm going to campaign to tell the Toronto Scepters, get new uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting tired of that. I'm like, you know why? Because Montreal's look so cool and old school. Why couldn't they have that kind
Montreal's is a little bit like...
old school, and Minnesota
I'm
too.
starting to not like it as much.
No, I'm liking them better, and I'm liking Minnesota. It looks more like a hockey jersey.
The Minnesota one I appreciate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks more hockey. These looks like some kind of modeling things, and the color scheme is funny. And it's got nothing to do with Toronto, is it? Oh yeah, it's got some blue in it. Stop it. Anyway, girls keep winning, and we'll quit. Cruz will shut up about your jerseys, but I'm not a fan.
Either way, we'll move this along to
how much the other uniforms I'm going to hate today, but we'll continue.
Yes. We'll move it on to uniforms we hate, to cars we hate, to Formula One, where Oscar Piastri won the Chinese Grand Prix. Lando and Russell complete the podium. Max 4th, Ocon 5th, tying Haas's best finish all time. And the day before that, Lewis Hamilton won the sprint.
Yes.
But big trouble for Ferrari, a double disqualification. Leclerc's car was underweight by 800 kilograms, which is quite a bit. And then Hamilton for excessive skid block wear. So basically that plank at the bottom of the car was worn down too thin. 0.5 millimeters below minimum thickness. Okay,
I got why what's his name? Leclerc got butchered. But the Hamilton one caught me off guard. We're talking what here? We're talking like millimeters, or like
half a millimeter.
Or whatever it is, like, you know, when guys mill.
But that's a fuck up on Ferrari. That shouldn't be happening.
I mean, like, what difference does that make?
That's the rule. That's the regulation. It's strict. But then Gasly also got a disqualification for an underweight car.
I know. Well, when they do that, I go, and then you guys are asking for it. The other thing on Leclerc's car, when the weight difference, I went, oh, okay. I understood that. But the Hamilton one, I rewound a couple times to let them talk about it, because I'm going, oh, come on. That's something new I learned. But we're talking about how minuscule this is.
Welcome to F1.
Oh, when I noticed and I had to go back and listen, because I'm going, but that's only this much. That's only this much. I went, wow. In any event, I thought the race was a little bit pedestrian, and
China's not that great of a track, in my opinion.
Okay, but whatever the case may be, which got you to see after the race, Zach Brown with the bird. That cat with the bird in his mouth talking. It's just hilarious.
Andrzej Kopitar's friend?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kopitar's friend. Yeah. That's right. Did you hear him say now? And he's got that look like, that's happiness, people. When you see Zach Brown's face after a race, they should start memeing that. What does happiness look like? That guy. And those are feathers. Yeah, he's a cat eating a bird. I love that when it's character about it. He's just got that look. And like I told you earlier, this is great for him, because if they say the season's going to be tough, 2 races in, and McLaren's banking points like no tomorrow.
Great start for the team. Perfect start.
Unbelievable. And if it wasn't for, what's his name, making the skid in the rain, who knows where we would be, because obviously look at the performance of the cars in China.
Yeah, I mean, they got both wins, though, which is where you get the big points. 25 points, right?
Yes, and 2 podiums in China. One more you're going to want. Where's the next one again?
Japan,
that's right. But it's not for 2 weeks, right?
It's going to be next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah.
So, which is going to be interesting, because Yuki Tsunoda is going to be taking a seat at Red Bull at the Japanese Grand Prix. Liam Lawson already on the outs. 2 races at Red Bull. the dysfunction with the second Red Bull seat continues.
Okay, but not only that, when he gets out of the car, he looks nervous.
Lawson?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh, no, but you see, like, I'm going, this guy's driving a car? Like, his body language. You know, like, you see some of these guys getting out of the car and it looks like they just, it's part of their body, they're comfortable.
Yeah.
He gets out and he's kind of looking around and going, it's too bad, but he wasn't handling it very well. And this is going to be great for Tsunoda. That's how you say his name?
Tsunoda.
What about the reception he's going to get?
Oh.
Look at the reception he's going to get.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of Red Bull hats.
Oh, more than 3.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's not a bad driver. He didn't he
probably does deserve that seat.
Yeah, and some people said he should have had it already. But were they on the outside looking in? Was that Red Bull's thing? They knew he was there the whole time.
It was more like they were looking for reasons to not give in to Tsunoda in a lot of ways, where they're like, he's not that great for car development. But then last year, I think he really proved that he's a good driver.
Yes.
Like, it seemed like really to finally click fully with him, right? And I mean, you got to give him that seat. I know they were negotiating for Colapinto to be to get him on loan from Alpine, but I think they're probably asking for too much.
I didn't hear that. I was happy for Tsunoda. That's all I was saying. And then especially it was like good marketing on Red Bull's part, considering they're going to Japan in the next race.
100%.
Oh, and I went, wow. It's like and the Japanese, the way they, I've never been there, but they say the way they greet people in Japan, whether it's baseball, basketball, rock stars, everyone to a person says the way something about Japan, they treat you different. In a good way.
Yeah.
Polite is the word that they always say. Mm-hmm. Like overwhelmingly polite, like fanatically polite when they see you. I think that's just great. You know what I mean? So he should have a good weekend. That doesn't mean Red Bull is going to have the great weekend, though.
No, it doesn't mean that.
No.
But Honda's probably going to want that, though, so they could have developed the car to be good for Suzuka. That's probably important to the team.
Point well taken.
Yeah. Honda, don't forget, they're still the engine manufacturers. Next year, that's going to change.
Okay. The funny thing is like we're also talking about, there's no doubt Max is probably the best racer, the best driver in all of this.
100%.
No
right
pace
now.
On the car. Like he just didn't have
much.
He got there and
Australia, they looked pretty good though.
Yeah, but he didn't have like that torque or whatever. Like he just didn't seem to have the juice to get by anybody. Once he was in that position, what was it, about 30 laps in?
Yeah.
Okay, Max, you're done for the day. Just keep the car on the track and drive home and get your 4th place points. You knew it by when? 30th lap? He wasn't making. I was hoping he would, but
Piastri kept just putting more and more time between the two, and it's like okay,
and that's a good strategy too. Because buddies that were in front of him, nobody's giving Max the time of day, so they're great. That's how your car's going, buddy. Well, they're gonna make it harder for him.
Yeah, and part of it too is you can't hang on too long because of tire wear, right? Because if you're following behind, it's gonna wear at the tires, so you gotta hang back.
Yes, all of that. But we'll see in Japan. Yeah, it's next weekend.
Yes, it is. And probably a big red flag that Red Bull should have taken into account was, okay, so 2 years ago when Lawson came on the scene, he came on pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
But then last year when he got Ricciardo's seat, it was kind of He was being outdriven by Tsunoda.
At the time, yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm wondering that's what I said. I wonder what was the purpose behind this. I don't know. In any event, I don't think...
Of what, giving it to Lawson?
Yeah.
They didn't trust Tsunoda.
And now he's going to Japan.
Funny how that works.
Yes, it's just funny how that works. Instant drama or instant exaltation, so to speak. We'll see next week anyway. Good luck. I'm just on the Max bandwagon. Get him back on that podium.
And we will see if he gets back on the podium. But for now, we will turn it over to the hard court with college hoops. We are into the Elite Eight of the March Madness tournament. The SEC, of course, taking all the headlines. They had 7 of the Sweet 16 teams.
That just tells you what kind of dominance they have this year.
Yes.
We're going to find out today because there's how many? There's still 3 SEC teams
4
that could make it to the Final Four, right?
4. Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee.
And they're all in different brackets, right?
It could be an all-SEC Final Four.
I don't think it's going to be. I'm hoping it's not.
Maybe.
I'm hoping it's not.
I'm kind of betting it is.
I'm hoping it's not because we got tickets in there, so we don't want an all-SEC.
I do.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you still there?
I have Florida, Alabama, and then I have Tennessee going to the final. Then the other one, if Duke loses, that'd probably bust a lot of people, so that would help me out.
I'm hoping Duke loses no tomorrow.
Yeah. I need that SEC Final Four.
Who is it? Who are they playing?
Alabama.
And Alabama's dogfights. They're more experienced. They're the more experienced. So I think they can beat Duke.
I'm picking Alabama there. I'm going, all SEC. I'm choosing Tennessee to beat Houston, Auburn to beat Michigan State, and Florida to beat Texas Tech.
By the way, that's a shout-out I forgot to do. Mr. Paul Charlebois, who is running the Hoopness pool for us. Wanted to give him a shout-out for 20 years now of keeping this pool together. And if you do look at the stats, Mr. Milani, it says the house that happens, you still have a shot at
number one.
And so does Cruz's Chaos. So let's keep our fingers crossed. In any event, one of the things you keep hearing over and over again is the fact that there's not as many upsets
100%.
as there was in last year. It's more chalk than it's been before. One of the reasons that people are saying that there's going to be less upsets than ever before is because a little thing called NIL.
And the portal.
So in any event, when you look at these teams that have made it to the finals, Houston was in the Final Four last year. 2 of their guys came down the portal lane. Alabama was in the Final Four last year. 2 of the guys that weren't on the team last year came down the portal lane. All big schools with big money equals what? Welcome to the Sweet 16 and perhaps the Elite 8.
Yeah.
That's where it's going. But some people say, is that bad for the sport? It's good for the sport. I'm not going to complain because the quality of the games are outstanding. Look at the game with Texas Tech and Arkansas last night. Mm-hmm. Arkansas has gone home, but they're an SEC team, and they battled.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stinkers in the first few rounds.
Some teams are better than others. So what are we going to say to do in the future? What are you going to get away from it?
I'm just saying.
Okay, so
that's what people are complaining about, the NIL and the transfer portal ruining.
Either money or you don't. Here's the interesting thing that's going to happen. We've already heard this. The coach of McNeese.
It's kind of sad though that there's no more like these 4-year programs and whatever. It's just become like the pros though.
Yes and no. I'll look at you this way. There's going to be another team that's going to rise up. For example, where did McNeese come from?
That.
Where did McNeese come from?
Okay, but how far did McNeese go?
They
won one.
They were a spot on the wall. But here's the problem with this.
Look
we're understanding. And look, he came in just in time because Kevin Pick is in the house. This is one of the things. Yeah, say welcome there. Let him sit down. Say hello, buddy. Can you hear? Are you all good?
I'm good. How's my mic?
Your mic is good. We'll take you a little bit more. You came in at the optimum time. Welcome, Kevin Pick, to San Fran, the only place to be in suburban Erin Mills. We were just talking about your issue that you brought up about the mid-majors.
Oh, yes.
You think it's going to be that bad?
The death of the mid-major. I do. Listen, with the NIL, with the transfer portal, do you notice the trend with all of the teams left in the tournament? All the SEC schools, big football money coming in.
You're right on time. We handed you the baton, so to speak. We're there, but I'm saying I'm not sure because, but he said they only won one game. We had McNeese there, and the problem with that, you're right on this, is you hear what's happening with McNeese, right? He's going to North Carolina State to coach next year. He's out to get a job. 3 of the McNeese boys are going with him.
Well, and that's the problem. That's the transfer portal, right?
Exactly.
You can jump from school to school every year with 0 repercussions. So if you have a big year in a mid-major,
bye-bye.
Why not just go to somewhere where you're going to get more exposure and potentially more NIL money and look at the NBA?
Well, that's what they're saying. But here's another interesting thing, and I brought it up, and I looked them up, and I'm right about both schools. I don't think they're all going away because there's these schools like Liberty and Warford and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you see their alumni? They're small schools, but you see, so they're going to be able to get in the door because they're going to just be able to buy a kid. But once a kid, then it's going to do like you say, Kev. He's going to have that great year at Liberty, and where am I going next year? I think I'll go to Duke.
Well, and the perfect example of it, and they're not a mid-major because BYU is I believe they're in the Big 12.
Yep.
But do you know what's happening with BYU? So the owner of the Utah Hockey Club and Utah Jazz, Ryan Smith, he's funding that school and everything going on there. Danny Ainge is, I believe, his alma mater
is BYU.
BYU. So he's a big part there. They got the number 1 recruit next year, so they've bought the number 1 recruit, AJ Dabanska.
Yes.
And they already have him in tow, ready to go, and after a promising season. But again, they're not a mid-major. They're a bigger program, but they're backed by big people. Do you know who backs the Houston Cougars?
It's a big...
Giannis.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin, can you just speak more into the mic?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, Giannis is a big backer of Houston because it's an ode to Hakeem Olajuwon, who he's a big fan, he was very close with.
And how long has Houston been a contender? I think they've been to the Final Four more than any other team in the last 10 years.
Yeah, they've been a really solid program over the last decade.
And with Buddy Sampson coaching for him, they poached him because remember he was in the East with Cincinnati. But Houston is just a big money school from way back. They were one of the ones that got tarnished before NIL because in Texas they do what they want football-wise. So why is that? We talked about in the show previously. Why do you think SMU is coming all the way back? Yeah. Dallas school with what kind of money?
Yeah, old football money there.
Yeah, and that's what we had said earlier in the year where we made the point is like, why did the SEC? Well, look how much money the football team's making. Couldn't they reach into the pocket and take their petty change and give it to the basketball team, and look what happens?
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
A football program funds the majority of the other sports. Basketball, I think they're starting to get more and more money there. It's closer to break even. But you have these schools with tons of money. Why not invest in other programs? And you're seeing that in the SEC this year.
I think it's 80-10, something like that. Like it's 80% of the money that comes into college, comes into the thing, is from football, 80 or 80 plus. Basketball brings in 10% or less.
Makes sense.
Oh, yeah, well, look at the contracts that SEC's got alone.
Yeah.
But back to what I'm saying is that I think that we're going to get those surprise teams early because these Wolfords and Liberty and Vanderbilt, notice Vanderbilt raised its head again now, even though they're an SEC team. You know why? Because those schools are from before the Civil War.
Well,
that's old money. They own dirt. So they're going to just buy it to try to get in. But I agree with what you're saying. Why am I playing here when I can go to Duke, North Carolina, Houston?
I think we've gone too far on the sides of letting players have free reign. I think the biggest way to curb this is to have a minimum 2-year stay or something like that. Or if you move, going back to you have to sit out a year.
I found it was interesting because Dick Vitale was on McAfee show today, and then Izzo was on last week, and they claimed the same thing. They said it's the wild, wild west. When do we get one rule? One rule. We just want one rule. And one of the rules should be, which Andrew and I were talking about, Kev, the portal's open right now.
Yeah, stop it until after the tournament.
100%. Like, what about the one kid that's going to Maryland, whatever? They know he's already jumping, and then they got to put him in front of a microphone, and he's got to ask something. He goes, talk to my agent. When would you say that 10 years ago, college kid? Talk to my agent. What? You know what I mean? And as soon as you talk to my agent, kid, we know you're lying. You know what I mean? Just say, talk to me. You know what I mean? And that's what, my theory on this, Kev, too, about how the world has changed. It all boils down to two things, violence and gambling. Running the world.
And what feeds both of them? Money.
There we go. But I still say I'm very, very invested in the fact we are going to see a small school that might get to the Sweet 16. I don't think we're not going to see a George Mason in the Final Four in the next bunch of years. Remember, was George Mason went at one time?
George Mason, Loyola Marymount? With Sister Jean?
Who had the opening pitch yesterday in Milwaukee or somewhere?
Chicago,
yeah.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
She's like 100 years old.
Yeah, or her counterpart, one of them that sits with her, but one of those they wrote there to do opening day picture. So I think they will go that far. What I find interesting, though, is that the quality of games makes it better. I'm a little bit, selfish and old school. If they build those teams that good, it's better for me as a product because don't you know the quality of the games have gone up because some of these kids are staying around extra and they're playing longer. You know what I mean? How many guys you see now? You see graduate. I never seen 10 years ago when we were watching the freaking tourney. Kev, how many times have we seen graduate? We've seen junior, senior.
Yeah, I think you see that with teams like Alabama. Sears on Alabama, he's a fifth-year senior.
The guy on Auburn, that Brahmi guy, he's a big...
Brahmi, he's a fifth-year guy as well.
Yeah.
And they're both two of the better players in the nation.
And what about the big white dude on Michigan? Fifth-year grad?
Wolf,
we got knocked out yesterday, but actually both of them were. But one of those guys is a fifth-year grad. And just say, 10 years ago, I've never seen, and you know how long I've been watching the tournament, I've never seen graduate below player before.
Yeah.
You know?
You're seeing
There's a bunch now.
Oh.
The NIL money's having an influence. Why go elsewhere where you're not going to make the NBA? You know Europe's a bit of a long shot. Stay in college for an extra year. Maybe you're going to get $500,000 out of it.
That's what I said to him too, and which is preposterous now. But when Flag, your boy at Duke, twisted his ankle last week, they didn't know how serious. Yeah, look at you. Everybody was cringing. He's okay now. You know what my first thing was? If it's a serious injury, stay at Duke another year. They'll give you $5 million to stay. And he kept saying, "Oh, NBA money. Get your NBA money soon." You don't think they'd give Flag $5 million?
That would just be a drop in the bucket of what he's going to get going to the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay. What's he going to get this first year? He's going to get 12 or 15, no more. Is this starter?
There's plus a ton of endorsements.
Okay, but he's going to get that
way more if he plays in the NBA.
Probably. Okay.
Probably 100%.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think of it as an old school. Just stay one more year for the college experience. And Duke would like you to be there because you won a national championship on your belt, because they're not winning. Like I'm telling you now, they're losing today.
Well, congratulations. You're making a bold statement. Alabama's a good team.
That's what Alabama's a damn good team, and the only team that's made more Final Fours than Houston, if you check the last 10 years, is who? Alabama. And I think they've got the longest streak for going into the Final Four, which makes me nervous because I picked them to go to the Final Four. Then I realized, oh shit, they've been that many in a row. Because usually you get 3 in a row and then you're gone. How many teams have made 4 Final Fours in a row, except for back in the day, your Duke team in the 90s? But I don't think it's happened since then.
Mm-hmm. Listen, the 8 teams that are remaining, there's a lot of skill there.
Oh.
You used to call the NCAA the no-shoot league. The amount of shot, the quality of shot making that I've seen in this tournament from the good teams has been a step above at the level of competition in prior years. That's because we do have some of the older players staying, but we also have a really, really strong freshman class this year. I mean,
I agree too. But one of the things that we were talking about, this is what drives me nuts though. You're right about those teams with the seniors, and they're not afraid to shoot the mid-range jumper and go inside and play defense. What's drive me nuts, and I think it was Izzo said about this, he goes, the problem with the kids is if you don't have a shot, don't take it. He said the kid remembers that until he gets to the three-point line and fires it up with 25 seconds left on the shot clock. And you go, that's what's killing it. But your point being said is, you look at those teams like Alabama and Houston and those senior guys, they make the extra pass when they're not going to go. Like, Houston doesn't need threes to win it all. Michigan State doesn't need 3 to get it all. But then you have this problem. If you don't shoot properly, you're St. John's.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that was St. John's Achilles heel going into the tournament. A reason I wasn't really high on them is they're just not a good shooting team.
I almost took them to the Final Four, but I didn't. And I took them to go to the Elite Eight, though. I thought they were good enough defensively. Too. I've seen them play. And me and Patino, he just, there's Cruz. Whoosh. Were you surprised that I had St. John going that far?
Not at all. You probably have Texas Tech or Texas A&M.
No, I bailed. I thought, he knows me. I had them in my back pocket for, you know why I didn't have that much either? You know why? Because they were on the same side with Michigan, so I backed off. But you know me. Oh, yeah. I had them circled. That's how long we've been playing this game.
Yeah.
He would know. It's funny you said Texas A&M.
It's interesting, something I read this morning. So if you add up the seeds of all the teams left in the tournament, it's the lowest number ever, tied with 2007, which also had really high seeds make the final. So 1s and 2s and 1s and 3s.
And you know what the earliest time since it was then? Back in the Duke days, early 90s, before 2007. The last time it was I think 91 or 92. And I went, what? That's 30 years ago.
Yeah, it shows the quality of the teams up top. Yeah. And really, there wasn't a lot of room for error for some of the lower-seeded teams to break through.
I forgot to tell you that. Think about the number, how low it is. 2007 was the last time?
2007. If you add them up, I think it equals 13 if you add up all the seeds of the teams in the Final Four.
And I forget who brought that up, and then the guy said, what was the last time before 2007? 91 or 92. I went, whoa. Does that make for a better tournament, or does it make it for a weaker? I'm going with you. What do you say, the quality of the games?
The quality of the games, there's been some really good games so far.
Yeah.
As I said, I've been really impressed by the shot making. I'm looking forward to the Elite Eight because now we've removed the teams that didn't really have a big chance.
Yeah.
And we're really the cream of the crop left.
Who do you like today?
I can't go away from Duke.
Of course
they're
you
my
can.
team. I think Alabama's a live dog. The amount of threes they shot, they hit 25 3-pointers in their last game. Do you know the Boston Celtics are the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA? They average 17 a game. Alabama hit 25, so put that into context. It was incredible. So if they're hitting, they're a live dog. And then the other game is
Texas Tech.
I don't think Texas Tech's going to break through against Florida.
I don't think I was. That was when I put my final in, and when I had Houston and I had Houston and Florida, I went Houston, and I wanted to change it.
Florida's got some guys on their back. Clayton, I think his name is.
Maybe the best guard in the country.
That guy's got balls of steel, man.
Is he going to go in the draft next year?
He's an older guy too.
Yeah.
Easy,
but you know what? I think he's going to go. Yeah. No, but you know what? You think about it. It's the development of players. Remember I was telling you about that a couple weeks ago? Why not draft those guys? Because, if he's not a freshman, he's not going.
Someone's going to take a chance on him.
He's too good. He's a sophomore, right? Junior.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Okay, but he didn't get on the bench because if you look at Florida 2 years ago, they were stacked with point guards then, and he couldn't get on the floor. Apparently, that was the reason.
Yeah.
But now look at him. You seen him play?
Yeah. I almost had Florida winning it.
Me too. We were talking about that.
They ran to Auburn in the Final Four. You're
okay.
like, oh.
Okay, so, and I had to explain to them one of the things I've been saying for years. You know what my theory is?
Is that yours?
Yeah. Football schools don't win. That's going to change dramatically.
I think that's going to change. So Walter Clayton Jr. is a fourth-year senior.
Fourth-year senior.
Yeah, he spent 2 years, again, back to the transfer portal. He spent 2 years at Iona before transferring to Florida.
Because he was on that upset team 2 years ago when Iona went to, the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
With who was coaching? Pitino coached him his first year before he went to St. John's. That's the connection. Pitino coached him when he was a freshman.
Yeah.
Point well taken.
So who else are you on today?
Duke and Florida.
Duke and Florida.
I think the two number one teams go through. I think Alabama has a better shot at the upset than Texas Tech does.
Then tomorrow, tomorrow?
I picked all 4 number ones to go to the Final Four. I'm going to slightly change that. I'm going to say Auburn still makes it through. I don't think Michigan State's a fun team. They play good defense. I just don't think they have a solution for Broom inside. Mm-hmm. But I do think now I would change my stance. I think Tennessee's playing some really good ball. Zakai Ziegler, one of the fun names.
Yeah.
Small little guy, but he runs a great point guard. I think they get by Houston.
I'm going to look at it this way. Houston's got to win it eventually. Okay, so they've been one of the teams in the Final Four, and do you see them play D? Look at last night. I didn't see the game. I just seen the highlights. I'm going home just to watch Purdue-Houston again because apparently that was a dogfight. And I thought Purdue, earlier in the year, Purdue, about, say, January 1st, they were projected to be a possible number one. Then they got in a slump in the Big Ten, and they ended up being a fourth. But I wasn't surprised they went on Houston. I'm like Houston's experience because they can win any way. You know what I mean? So if they have a cool day shooting, they'll bang you inside. They're tough on D. But then again, Purdue is, and I think Purdue is a tougher team than Tennessee. In my opinion, defensively, they got better metrics. That's what they're saying. But no slouch against Tennessee because we've talked about them all. You brought them there too. Tennessee's a good team. And who's their coach?
Yeah, Barnes, right?
Another coach that knows what he's doing. How to get down the reins. I'm just taking it because I took Houston because I took them to win it all. So I got to stay on the bandwagon now.
I was going to say, coaches is the thing I left out of my equation when I was considering my picks.
And I told you I'd be picking according to coaches. That's how he knew to bring up A&M and a few people. He knows exactly who I am when he brought those teams up. When I told you, I'm looking where the coaches are. And this is what's really funny about the tournament when they're in that room. Two of the things that they tried to do and worked out. First of all, they tried to have Michigan play Michigan State, but we didn't make it. How do you put Self, Pitino, and Calipari against each other in one corner? For America. That's what they're like. Those in the room, what are they doing? They're moving the pawns. This is going to be fun. And you go around the brackets. Now some teams lost, and they're not going to get those connections that they have. But they always put the seeds there. You know what I mean? Which makes me say, like, how do they make some of those decisions when they're in that room? Like, they open the door for us to question it, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, you go back to why was UNC even, they should not have been in the tournament, but you can't have a tournament, when they're that close and on the cusp, you can't have a tournament without UNC. And I hate UNC.
Oh, I know you do. That's a gimme.
Anyways, we got to keep this moving, but...
and who are you picking? Oh, we've already seen your picks.
All SEC.
Yeah. All SEC.
You should bet that. I think it's 14-1 if that hits today.
Really?
Just a little side bet. If you bet all SEC teams to win, 14-1.
We got an account.
I will do that after the show.
Yeah, because you're not playing tonight. I might do that too.
This segment sponsored by FanDuel.
We are not sponsored by FanDuel.
And I don't. And no disrespect, but we know it's violence, gambling, money, and drugs. That's the 4 things running the world. I know who you work for, but he's not in that aspect of it. But what runs our world right now? When you look at a commercial, if it's not a commercial for gambling, they're selling you something that's going to make you feel better. Look at the side effects: heart attack, blood thinning, sleepiness, grogginess. Anyways, we'll continue.
We will move this on to our soccer report, where Toronto FC let us down again, losing 2-1 at home to the New York Red Bulls. But they have a chance to redeem themselves against the Vancouver Whitecaps today at home.
So basically, our Toronto, we have a continual. I like to kick that team on a regular basis. It's one of the Toronto teams I don't like to kick them, but they deserve it. They haven't won a game yet, have they?
No.
And they haven't looked good in any of the games.
I think they have just one draw. The rest have been losses.
As a Toronto FC season ticket holder since year one, I didn't attend. I attended one game last year. I'll probably go to one game this year. The quality of the soccer is terrible right now. Oh. They took a swing and a miss on the two Italians. Bernardeschi's been okay.
He's been pretty good. Insigne's been the real disappointment. They're spending way too much on him.
Yeah, and I think they're essentially just hoping he goes away right now. But it's been the quality's been very poor quality on the field, and I though I'm buying season tickets, I'm not going to go and spend.
You know, I forgot that you own the season tickets. At the time when they got the two Italians, weren't you excited?
I was optimistic when you saw what the impact Giovinco had. Insigne should have been that plus. He's a national team player. Giovinco never was.
Mr. Milani.
Well, Insigne just came off a huge performance at the Euro.
Yes.
They had just won the Euro. So I was very optimistic about that. It hasn't translated to the style of play in the MLS. And you know what? Some people don't translate well to that. Mm-hmm.
Here was my theory, and he kind of backed me up on it, with the definitive word being Italian. Some of these guys didn't even get along with each other when they got here. And then which part of the city where they landed and how they got treated. What was his name when he came in here? They had a parade for the guy.
Insigne.
Yeah. They had a parade. You see, when I seen this one, I said, what? This guy came from where, doing what? And what has he done since? Can I have another grape, please? Come on. And then I find out they're not even getting along in the dressing room. And then you go, the people that are having season ticket holders must be a little bit pissed here. And then you guys are 3 years away when you had those runs that you look like you're building a dynasty, and then 18 months later, like you were in the finals, then you're in this finals, and then, let's just switch things up. Because you know what? The team's got money.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're in Toronto, you're in a favorable position for like getting that, the foreign player and all that adding on. Toronto's in a favorable position.
Okay, we're just making myself depressed here with this talk.
Toronto FC, they're terrible. They're not going to be good.
No.
Okay, sorry for depressing you like that, but come on. And look at the fan base. About this, though. And you know what? I'm not the biggest soccer guy. You know that. But for the fan base that they have in Toronto, come on. They're missing 30,000 a night blowing this. Like, remember when they were winning? Sold out every night. Now what are they getting? 13, I think it's 13 they're at. 13 to 15.
It's not a cheap ticket either.
And no, but I mean, when they were in those glory, just 3 years ago, they were averaging, 22 a night? Something like that?
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to go.
Not so much now.
No, not so much now. We will go around Europe. First of all, talk about Premier League. The game of the week is the Liverpool Derby. Liverpool versus Everton. That's on Wednesday. No games this weekend there. I guess it's a holiday in England.
Yeah, it's the Kings something.
I don't know. They're playing games midweek either way. City, got to look at Juventus sacking Thiago Motta, the manager of Juventus. Weird time to do it. Looked like they'd been looking up, but I guess not.
There's a lot of weird shit that goes on in the middle of soccer season over in Europe in those leagues. I do not understand.
I don't follow Serie A too much, but I mean, I have Italian roots. If Juventus is not in the top three, they're not in the top one. That's a bad season for them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I can see why they would sack their manager mid-season, or we're getting pretty close to the end right now.
Right.
And the whole new coach theory, maybe they can get a fresh voice in there and then propel them up into the Champions League draw next year. Because right now they're sitting just on the outside. On the outside,
but they punted this guy off the bus while it was moving. What? When I know news, I go, how did this happen? I don't know. That's there was brewing. I heard a bit, but it was kind of abrupt.
Yeah, 100%.
It was abrupt. Like it was like the one guy said. It was like the bus was moving. Hey, open the door. See the coach rolling down the road, and everyone went, whoa, but will it give like you said, Kev, is going to give it the bump?
We will see. The game of the week there is Napoli versus Milan.
Oh, yeah.
Napoli, of course, battling for that top spot. In the Bundesliga, I guess this kind of relates to Team Canada. Alphonso Davies tore his ACL and will miss several months after surgery. So the question is, should he have been playing with Canada against the States? And now Bayern Munich is threatening legal action against Soccer Canada.
Oh, they're gonna nuke us. Those guys are more than pissed. But you know what? They've got a point. It was really a nothing game. It was all about the pride and what's going on with the politics of the day. But technically, he shouldn't have played. It was a nothing game. I mean, you couldn't tell him no because he's a national and all that, and you don't expect this to happen. If it didn't happen, we wouldn't be having this conversation, obviously. But Bayern Munich's got some...
Yeah, they have a lot of money invested in Davies, and rightfully so. He's a world-class player. I mean, as a proud Canadian, I can see why you'd want to ensure that he's out there beating the U.S., which was a great result in the end for Canada, especially with everything going on politically.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to look after the player. But one thing I haven't heard yet is, where's Alphonso Davies in all of this? Can't he say no? Can't he say, I'm not fit to play?
He probably did, but it's probably down to the whole sovereignty, national, I'm proud to be Canadian stuff, and away he went. What I'm saying is, I'm not the big soccer guy, but I've already told him I think Bayern Munich's going to win the Champions League. That's when it all started.
That's a big blow to that.
That's what I'm saying. But I know shit. But he'll tell you, my guy, when I kept saying every week, when I'm looking at the shit, I go, this Bayern Munich team, these a serious bunch of mofos. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a big blow.
And look where they are in the Bundesliga. They're sitting here and everybody else is like behind them and shit. It's going to be. Well, I think that they're going to get money out of Canada somehow. They're pissed. So? And this Bayern Munich. These guys aren't like no small company guys. This is huge money.
I understand.
They got more money than Soccer Canada. Probably.
Yeah,
you know what
do.
I mean?
They
So
do.
what are you going to do? They're going to send over. They're going to do something. They're more than angry.
We will keep an eye on this story for sure.
We definitely will. Continue. Sorry, bud.
No worries. So Canada beats the States in that one, obviously.
Who cares?
The bronze. Well, I mean, beating the Yanks. Come on.
That's the only reason. If it was any other year, all of us would be going, yeah, okay.
Our boy Jonathan David got the winner in the 59th minute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all good. That's all I'm going to say.
It was a world-class strike.
100%.
He's showing that his worth up front for Canada, and he's a pillar there, just like Alphonso Davies.
Oh yeah, no, that was a great goal. No doubt about it. You know what I mean? Which bodes well for us. Now, my only question is this: since you're here, Kev, what games do you think we're going to get in the World Cup next year? Me and you, Paraguay, and what games are we going to get?
We're going to get Canada's group.
We're going to get one, but who or what game are we going to get? Any team? Who's in our bracket again?
They haven't done the draw yet. We have no idea who's going to be here.
Yeah, that's the picking end of the hat shit again.
Teams haven't even qualified yet.
Yeah,
that's true too. But my thing,
hold your horses on the tin hat conspiracy stuff. We're going to get Canada's group.
He's got it ready to go.
Yeah,
he's got it in the drawer.
I don't trust some of this. Like now that I've been learning the minutia about soccer, sometimes Kev, I go, "What? You guys do what?" Yeah, we're going to put our hand in the bucket and pull it. Pick. This is 2025. What? They've been doing it since 1850, so Cruz, shut the hell up. That's the way the game's done.
We're going to get 2 Canada games in Toronto, I believe, and then 1 in Vancouver.
Okay.
So
I hope so. But 100%. I wonder who we're playing. Well, that's true, too. I wonder who we're going to get. We won't know. That's right. We don't know shit.
Whoever's in the group.
That's right. We don't know shit then, do we? I hope we get someone like Brazil. That means we'll be out quickly, but it would be great to be down at that. When we play in Brazil? At BMO Field in a World Cup game, I'd be interested in going.
That'd be an expensive ticket.
Yeah, probably my mortgage. You know what I mean? Another one thing I've seen the design, but I don't know how they're going to Lego BMO Field. They're Legoing it.
Yeah. Temporary seating.
Yeah, but how they're putting it in, I've seen it there, but I had nothing better to do. I'd just like to go down and say, let's watch these guys put this shit together.
I'm sure there'll be like some time lapse we can see.
Yeah, I want to take a look because it's pretty cool. Like the end, like the image they showed of it, the AI version of it looks pretty cool. But I'm going, how are they building that? Looks like Lego. Okay, you built it this
pieces. Yeah,
it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. We're a year away.
Yep. We will continue to keep an eye on the World Cup, obviously, as it comes to our country, our city.
Commercials are on TV already.
They are. Got the hype started. We're just over a year away.
Okay, can I say one thing, though? Because you're lucky because you're in Vaughan and you're in Mississauga. So I'm paying Toronto taxes. Can you explain this to me right now?
Are we getting political here?
No, just for a second. I just want to tell these people.
Oh, come on. We got to keep this moving.
No, just for 1 second. I want to say
Kevin's
this.
only got so much time.
Okay,
come on.
I just want to say this. Isn't this weird? Okay. They're putting this money allotting for soccer advertisement, but they're not saying who they're paying it to or what consultants are coming in. Number one. But they're going to pay someone to do something, but they're not sure. And where's the budget going? At the same time, they just gave themselves a raise. That's all. Just makes me go, come on, what's going on here?
Weren't they overdue for a raise, though?
We're not talking about that. It's not a political show.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
If his guy was in power, he wouldn't even be bringing this up.
I brought it up, too. The same thing when they did it. I said, no, you can't do that. But that's another story.
Either way, we will get off of municipal politics into the world of the NHL a little bit earlier in the show than usual. Okay. Where we will begin with our power rankings. I guess I'll begin.
Mm-hmm. We should let Mr. Pick understand what's going on.
Do you have your power rankings too, or?
I'll pull them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Number 10, I got the LA Kings.
All right.
Number 9, I got the worst team of all time, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
By the way, full disclosure, this guy has issues with Tampa Bay, Kev.
Number 8, I got Toronto. Number 7, I got Carolina. I have Colorado at 6. Florida at 5. Vegas at 4. Number 3 is Washington. 2 is Dallas. And at the top, I got Winnipeg.
Okay, where did you have Colorado?
6.
Okay, so that's a glaring error on my part because I did not have Colorado even on my list, but that's a flaw. Oof. Yes, I did. So what I did have is I had the Oilers at number 10. Which I should have switched it around because the Oilers, what are they doing lately? Yeah. What are they doing lately? So that's just a flaw. I have your favorite team, Tampa Bay, at number 9.
We can agree on something.
And I have the Leafs at number 8.
8, like mine.
I got the Panthers has fallen all the way down to 7 on my list. You know, they've got, I watched, they should have been ahead by Toronto now. And you know, I've usually have them top 3 or 4. I'm giving up on them. Wait, the playoffs come, it'll be different.
They got a big win last night, though.
Yes, they finally, and they're missing the 3 big guys.
Well, Marchand's back.
And Marchand, well, who cares? Marchand, we have another full disclosure.
He scored the winner last night.
Can we have full disclosure? No, I can't be swearing on the air about Marchand. Please give me a break. Is he going to be one of the 6? Stop it. Anyways, at 6, I got the Kings. 5, I've got the Kings.
LA in 6. Wow.
They're good.
I didn't say they weren't.
I'm loving them now. When they smack your boys tonight, you're going to go, Cruz has got a point here. Okay. Canes at number 5. Vegas stays hot at number 4. Number 3, I got the Stars. Loving them. Number 2, I got the Jets. And I'm all in on the Capitals. You got me. I'm staying. I'm in. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon. You took me. How long did it take me to get on the bandwagon? I'm there now. I'm staying there now. They're too good. They're too much fun. And I still swear, Kev, here's the okay, give us your list. What do you think?
All right. At number 10, I do have the Edmonton Oilers just because they have the best player on the planet.
2 of the best players.
1A and 1B on the planet, and I can't go away from that. Number 9, Tampa. I think we all have them. Number 8, Toronto.
Yeah, that's consistent.
They're precarious in the top 10 right now. Number 6, Carolina. Number where am I now? Sorry, 7 Carolina. 6 Florida. Though I do think once they get the guys back, I can see Florida going in the top 3 or 4. Number 5, Colorado. Number 4, Vegas. 3, Washington. 2, Dallas. 1, Winnipeg. Okay.
All those 3 teams, you could rotate where they are right now.
Yeah, the top 3 I think are pretty locked. They're all playing great hockey. They're all deep. They're all getting really good goaltending, and
they're all big.
Yeah,
they're all big. Yeah, all 3 of those teams. I was just noticing the size of their defensemen on an average 6'2".
Yeah,
all 3 teams. Look, every guy's not their 4th and 5th or 5th or 6th defensemen.
Well, not so much Winnipeg.
Yeah, because they're back end. They're 2 guys to get away with, but their front 4 guys are good with Morrissey and his partner. Those
Morrissey's not too big, is he?
He's 6 feet, but he's a little bit wide. But the guy that plays with him is 6'2". What's his name? His partner is 6'2". So.
But then that Pionk, who's another little guy that they rely on.
But he's 6 feet too. He's wide, but he's not as big like you're saying. The Dallas guys, all the Dallas
guys are monsters. Washington's guys too,
and they're big too. And and your boy that you hated shipped out of town. He looks like a top 4 guy. Come on, Sandin. He looks good. I told you might regret letting him go.
I'd rather have McCabe.
Benoit.
Yeah.
Come on. He's top 4 in Washington. They're number 1 team in the league. I told you.
Well,
I thought
that's Benoit. That's more of like, okay, because Sandin would want top 4 money. I wouldn't want him on my top 4 over like McCabe or like Ekman Larson.
So we had what's up? Go ahead, Kev.
When you're talking about Sandin, and the Leafs really didn't have another choice. He had the most value when they were shipping him out of town. To Mr. Milani's point, he's going to get paid the most when his contract does come up. The Leafs just couldn't afford him, and they could get the most for him. So it was just a mathematical.
We got first round pick back for him.
Well, that's the redeeming factor. But at the time that they traded him, I was saying I don't think you should trade the guy. But the number one reason you got rid of him is money, his salary cap. We know that. But he's turned out to be as solid as I thought he's going to be.
Good.
He's top 4 in the number 1 team.
Yeah,
and number 1, he's a top 4 defenseman on a number 1 first place team in the NHL. Who, Kev? Here's the argument, and I don't believe it on this team. They always say Winnipeg was a victim of that last year, and Edmonton was a victim of that when McDavid was young. But they're saying now that Washington's in this position, they got to learn to lose before they win. That's been saying about a lot of teams last year. Like, you know how Winnipeg got knocked out? Like, they're saying that. I say that Washington's built in a way that won't happen to them.
I don't know. Ovechkin's lost 19 out of 20 years in the playoffs, so okay, I don't agree with that.
No, you don't think they got a team that could make a run this year?
I absolutely do. I don't think they need to lose. That's Ovechkin's been in the league for 20 years.
They got Wilson freaking keeping everybody's shoes tight. They got good goaltending and Logan Thomas. Like I said, they
got the defense.
They're just going to save that one time. And I like this style of play. Like, you know what I mean? They're a little bit old school in that they always look like they're on the forecheck.
Yeah.
And they crash the net. You know what I mean?
They're a fun team to watch.
Very fun team to watch. I find them in LA play a little bit the same in that they're not only when they go forward, they're not afraid to open it. Because don't you notice in the league this year, everyone's afraid to let it get open? You know what I mean? Because my bitch is this, Kev.
It depends who you're playing on a given night, too, right?
You're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't want to get open like last year. You guys don't play like last year.
Yeah, but teams are afraid to get into that kind of game against the Leafs or the Oilers or
but sometimes I said, like the other night against San Jose, I thought you guys should have opened up wide open on those guys because you're better than them. You got better guys, and you still did that check game. And even though you came back in the end in the last minutes, which I thought you were going to steal the game, where were you a period before that? Against those type of teams, you should just open up against them. Now when you're playing Florida, Vegas, Dallas, I wouldn't quite do it like that.
So you don't exactly want them changing them up to come playoff time. You want the guys playing consistently. What was our problem with Sheldon Keefe down the stretch last year?
Okay, I agree with you. But Kev, here's my problem. I say this. They just don't shoot enough. This possession game is driving me frickin' crazy. How many times do you see a game this year and they're coming down, they get in the front, and an extra pass? Oh, gee, there it goes. And that's the compulsory. It's a puck going around. And we've noticed it this year because we've been monitoring it. Watch when the third period starts and somebody's there. All of a sudden, they're shooting the puck like crazy. Where were they in the first 2 periods? It makes me crazy. If you don't shoot, you don't score. And my other biggest...
it's so much about possession now.
It is, but sometimes the possession does you what? You're doing the compulsories like soccer. Juventus of Turin, when they do that defense thing. They boot the ball around for 20. They're so good at it. They can kick it. What good is that you do in the NHL? You're not scoring. It's not soccer. That's what drives me nuts. So shoot the puck more. That's why I bitched about Robertson being in the lineup for the Leafs every time I took him out. At least that guy shoots the puck as much as you can.
Well, it looks like he's got a spot.
What's that?
He's got a spot now.
You can't deny the guy. But Kev, my other biggest bitch about it is this shot attempt bullshit. That's a brick in the NBA. Oh, we had shot attempts tonight. No, you didn't. You couldn't hit the broadside of a brown fucking door. Now we had shot attempts. Stop it.
Who's saying we have shot attempts?
It's really slowed down on TV since I've been bitching about it. They don't show it like it was. Like every time, especially the American channels, drive me crazy.
The American coverage of hockey
sucks. Oh, my God. But they had 47 shot attempts. What? I'm watching the game. They couldn't hit the goddamn net, but they had a shot attempt. Makes me crazy. Absolutely. So my bitch is, and the Habs got away with it, but I don't, we're making me nervous. We just went to a shooting team. Look how many times we play. We just come over the line. We just fucking fire the puck. Go get it. What other way we're going to win with our talent?
Yeah, you guys are a bit of a notch below everyone else.
I hate to say that, but we're not yet. We're still in the playoffs. But if you look at the Habs, when we get going, we just let's go get it, guys. All that or nothing. And then guess what? When the teams are more talented, us like last night, okay, let these guys run around for a minute. Is that what we're doing? Okay, now our turn.
Yeah, you guys can basically just throw like that one line out there after that.
We're a bunch of gerbils on the track. We're running like motherfuckers. That doesn't mean you're getting anywhere. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? So I'd like more shot attempts, like more shooting as it is. And that's why the top 10 keeps changing. You know what I'm saying, Kev? From week to week. Andrew likes to base it on what's your last 10, which I kind of agree with. But then you see
I don't just base it off that.
No, but I mean, I like that theory that makes me, especially with Washington, made me jump on. But you see some nights it looks like Florida just taking the night off. You know, who are they playing? You know what? We're not the playoffs yet. We've been to the finals last 2 years. Make sure nobody gets injured, and they skate around. If they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. But then, like last night, they show up because when they need to.
When they need the 2 points.
Yeah.
Given the amount of games they've played over the last 2 years, like you're getting into the hundreds a year.
That's what I'm saying. So some nights you got to just, So would you agree with this? When they're talking about how tight the schedule is, and now they're thinking about doing something with the All-Star game next year. Oh, no, it's going to be the Olympics. So that's why they're going to have the break.
Well, they are doing All-Star game next year as well.
But they're starting to think of some kind of format like this. So everyone says the schedule is compressed. Oh, the guys are playing too much. Oh, they need a rest. Oh, fuck, I'm so sick of that, Kev. So why don't they just play less games? Why take 4 games out of schedule?
Yeah, the
NHL's a gate-driven league. They need that revenue. Yeah.
So then Kev, this is my bitch. Don't tell me that when you're doing this. How do I buy into it? You're going to compress the schedule, get more games on TV. Let's answer to TSN. Let's answer to Paramount Plus.
Answer to ESPN.
All of those people, which is good because you get more eyeballs on your product. But the next, the guys are playing too much. Are they tired? Oh, back to back. So don't tell me about this when you're doing that because then you're fraud. It's fraudulent. So the only thing you can do to save it is take 4 games away. Same thing in the NBA. Knock some games off that, and then I don't want to have to hear about this shit. You know what I mean? Because I'm old and gnarly now. You thought I was old and gnarly before?
Did this podcast turn into an episode of The View? Because all I hear is complaining over there.
Oh, I do because I'm getting pissed at it, Kev.
I think he's playing it up because we have a guest, but
okay. But you know what I'm saying? I get pissed. I'm doing it every time. Kev, he'll tell you. I scream about it. Why are they doing this?
So since we're talking about Cruz getting cranky, let's get into the East wildcard race. So Montreal's battling with the Islanders and the Rangers. The Islanders no goal last night. I know on the car ride here we were talking about it. You have some opinions on that.
Okay, so Kev, what are we going to do about this goalie interference bullshit? Last week, and our buddy Elliot Freeman was there, and Dregs, they were all down there. One of the main topics in the GM meeting was goalie interference. What happens when they come out of the meeting? Do you see the goal they disallowed against the Islanders? Come on. And even I'm on agreed. I don't think they should have disallowed that Marner goal. So 10 years ago, those are goals. Okay? Now they're not. So we're get the balance.
Yeah, it's like the catch rule in the NFL.
What is a catch? Yeah.
Was it a catch? There's a gray area right now, and they need to get ahead of it.
Yeah, I will say with the Marner one, Marner did initiate the contact.
He said, hello, how you doing? You need a coffee? Still. Come on.
And then the Palmieri one for the Islanders, he was in the crease.
But he took a swipe at him, too, so going by. What do you call that? Didn't you see the swipe?
Yeah. I did,
okay. But if that happens in the third period of a playoff game, what's going to happen when it goes back to Toronto, guys?
Actually, speaking of that, we have a House That Happens exclusive here. A special guest actually rang us up.
Okay, really?
This is Patrick O'Wa calling into the House That Happens there. You're probably wondering if I still have my 2 Stanley Cup ring plug in my ear. I can confirm that I do. Cup number ring is plug, where the sun don't shine no more. And ring number 4, I actually lent to David Abisher. I took it back with him to Switzerland, so I don't know, it's somewhere in there. I have to go there, hunt him down, and kick his ass, But the reason for my call is about the goalie interference there in the play of the game with my Islanders in New York. Obviously, we know there was no goalie interference. It is Toronto trying to do the interference. They're trying to get Montreal into the playoffs, with all the political tension. which, as a French Canadian, I kind of respect. But, as a coach of Islanders, the New York, it pisses me off to no end. So I am ringing the bell of the conspiracy theory here, that I am the whistleblower, if you will. And one more thing, Mr. Lou Lamoriello, I respect this man to no end. But he leave me with shit all, as it were, to play with on my roster. Pierre Engvall, what's this overgrown giraffe going to do on my roster? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, maybe I should shut my boosh. I've been talking a little bit too long here.
We love it.
But have a great day, guys. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you, Patrick Waugh.
Very much so. That's like gospel at my house. That's pretty damn funny, though. But you see his real press conference, he was borderline nuts. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's good for the game. Because part of the thing about hockey is it's like other sports, we don't have enough personality, so to speak. So in a weird way, that's good for the game. But he's right. So what do you think about what's going to happen in the third period, bro? In this game and that NBA, and it goes back to Toronto. How long? It's going to be 5 minutes? I predict right now that's going to come up, and we're all going to be sitting there. We're going to go get another beer. We're going to roll another spliff. The guy's going to be still looking at the monitors, trying to decide. And then you know what everyone's going to say? Vegas.
Vegas and Toronto.
Yeah, I think there's a hotline. Like Vegas is the people in Toronto listening to us? It just opens the door. You know what I mean? It's not happening, but it makes you think.
It makes conspiracy theorists like yourself.
I'm not a conspiracy theory. It's just that when I see things like that and it happens, I go, well, I could not believe the Islander goal. And even the Marner one, when I'm going to text them, like 10 years ago, those were goals, guys. They were goals.
At our house, we knew that Marner one was being disallowed right away.
Yeah, that's what one of the announcers said. I think when they say, I think it's going to be this. And I go, what, for that? For that? Come on. It's crazy. I don't get it. I'm just saying in the playoffs, I predict there's going to be an incident, and they're going to be reviewing it, and that review is going to be longer than War and Peace.
It's going to be like a 15-minute review.
I'm saying, it's coming.
Yeah.
And we're all going to sit there, and when you guys are going to remember this show, I'll be texting you both at the same time. What's going on here, guys? What game is it? Is it game 6? What city are we in? Who's the situation?
Yeah.
And
let's hope that doesn't happen.
That's what I always say. Let's hope it doesn't, but I'm predicting it will.
But what I do hope happens is Ovechkin breaking Gretzky's record. He's only 6 away right now.
With 10 games left, right?
Something like that. I know Sportsnet, they're showing all the Washington games until he breaks the record, which is pretty cool. And he showed mad respect for Marc-Andre Fleury, which we should talk about.
100%.
Fleury's last ever game against Washington, we know the rivalry there from Pittsburgh, and then with the Golden Knights playing each other in the finals. Ovechkin got the whole team out there to shake his hand.
One of the coolest things I've seen. Go ahead, Kev.
I was going to say, that was a class act, bringing everyone back on the ice just to make sure.
I got a shiver. When I realized what was going on, I got a shiver. I said, that's what sports is all about. Show that to the kids.
Yeah, one Hall of Famer to another. It's it was really great to see. And I mean, with everything going on, especially in Russia and Ukraine right now, and Russians tend to get a bad rep because of that. Ovechkin, I think he's one of the guys that has a pretty high popularity throughout.
I thought it was amazing. Do you think, you know what I think it is? And I would respect it. I wonder if other teams are going to do it now.
Well, Pittsburgh kind of did something.
What's that? Oh, yeah, they did too. Well, that was because that was a Crosby call out, though.
Yeah.
That was it. Well, naturally, look, why wouldn't Crosby? But I heard Crosby in advance already said, boys, hey, Marc-Andre's in the house tonight. And you expected it there more. Like, look at the rings.
Sure.
He got the rings. It's different. But when I seen Ovechkin, it gave me a chill. When I see what was going on, I said, oh, show the kids. Bring out the kids. Let the kids see this. But I'm wondering if another team's going to do it. You know, does he play in Montreal again this year?
No, they already. That was another one. They did
Montreal.
Yeah.
They did too because he's a Frenchman. Yeah. Well. Anyways, I thought it was a class move.
Yeah.
Good thing to see.
New York Jets. Winnipeg Jets clinched a playoff spot this week. The New York Jets probably won't be clinching a playoff spot for another 10 years, but that's another story. The Winnipeg. I guess the big question about them is, are they just going to blow in the playoffs or not? For me, they win round 1, but round 2 against Dallas or Colorado.
Okay, that's why, Kev, I was asking about that. Winnipeg and Los Angeles are the two poster childs for you got to lose before you got to win. And that's when I said I heard them throwing Washington into this thing, and I went, wait a second, Washington is a different animal to me.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, I think with the Ovechkins, the Wilsons, and that kind of depth on it, like I can't see them going down like little bitches, like the Jets.
But yeah, I mean, back to the Jets. They've had those heartbreaking losses already in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They've been there before, where they've been the top team going in and had some big collapses. It's going to be a tough second round matchup, no matter who they play. To your point, it's almost a coin flip. Dallas or Colorado, whoever they play, it's going to be pretty tight. I mean, they've got the goaltending. They have consistent throughout the lineup. They've got a shot. Are we going to be talking about them in the same vein as Toronto and collapsing in the playoffs after this year? Potentially. I'd like to see them have some success, but again, once you get to the playoffs in the NHL, it's a completely different animal. This isn't the NBA playoffs where it's just chalk all the way through. You have to grind out a 7-game series, which it's grueling, and you see the teams that are built for it, that can play different styles of hockey, that can shut teams down defensively. Those are the teams that succeed in the playoffs. I think Winnipeg, given with the best goalie in the world right now, they've got as good as a shot as anyone.
I think it's the toughest tournament of the year in any sport. I don't care what anyone says. Football is only one game. That's a tough tournament too. But these are best of 7, 4 rounds. Whew. Oh, by the way, I don't think Hellebuyck should be MVP, by the way. That's another one of my bitches. And now that you're here, so I can have on record, Cruz does not think that Hellebuyck is a goddamn MVP. Okay, can we get that out of the way? And speaking of MVPs, before I forget, because we already did the little football blurb, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to just say, can I have a pause for a minute? Because I got to say something to Mr. Pick, because I want this on tape so that he's going to have to admit this. There's a certain football player that this guy kicked the shit out of my house for years. Tell me Matt Stafford's a first ballot Hall of Famer, bro.
Matt Stafford's a
Stop.
10 to 15 best quarterback of all. No.
Oh, what'd you say? Do you continue?
He's in the 10 to 20 range of QBs.
So first ballot Hall of Famer now, right?
I don't know. Maybe Eli gets him before.
Oh, he's killing me. I knew he was going to fuck with me anyway. I had to call him out. I want this on tape. Blessed by my boy. Maddie's listening to this one, guy, because I had to call. You know what this guy used to say about Stafford in my house?
We know.
Feeding the guy at my house, saying something. And this guy would look me in the eye and say shit about Stafford. In my lucky, he was young. I understood. That's why I got you here on tape today, because come on, Stafford now.
Listen, you take away the one Super Bowl season. He has a ring. You can't take that away from him. Before that, he wasn't a winning quarterback. He was a good stats, bad team guy. And now his receivers have had the 2 best seasons in NFL history, between Kupp and Calvin Johnson. Yep. And then you have Puka, who had that phenomenal rookie season. So he's a bit of a kingmaker for the wide receivers, but again, he's been a loser.
What's that?
He was only because of
Detroit. I don't know if I agree with that, but we should move on from Matt
Okay,
Stafford
1 second.
talk.
We got our first slugger in the house. Pedro, give us a hello. First of the sluggers, we told you they will be communing here during the day, and I meant to give you a call, but we will talk. Yeah. Oh, you're a wonderful human being. Look at the hair. You look at the hair grow. What? Wintertime? Thank you very much. Pedro in the house. You know. But, yeah, I had to bring that up, Mr. Pick, because how many games? He will tell you.
All right.
How many Lions games have we watched together?
When he was on the Lions, he was a loser.
You're killing me. You know.
What's next, Mr. Milani?
Yeah, we'll speaking of losers, the Flyers lost the Leafs. Then 2 days after, John Tortorella got fired after some pretty crazy comments he made.
But you know what? That's Torts at his best, or worse. Or worse, because as soon as I heard he got in the room, he was gone.
He's good, bad, and ugly about hockey, isn't he?
100%. But you hear, I didn't realize it till it came out afterwards. After he made the statements, he didn't even get to his office. Upper man, get rid of him. Owner, that came straight from ownership, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said the owners, when they heard that, they said, I don't care, get this guy out of here.
John Tortorella has a best before date every time he takes a job. It's generally 3 years, and then he wears out his welcome.
2 years somewhere.
Yeah,
some places.
He's just being Tortorella.
You know, but this was a bad mix for him. In his
young team?
Yes. Yeah. At this point in his career, like where he is as a coach, everyone said a couple years ago, like if Torts was 10, 12 years younger and made sense, but where Torts is now in his career as a coach, it didn't make sense. You know what I mean? It would more sense. It's like why Berube came to Toronto. At this point in his career, Berube's a coach for Toronto. Torts was not the guy for Philly. Mm-hmm. They said it, and everyone said they were right. How long was it going to last? Did he last 3 years? Is this his third year? Or is this the end of his second?
This is the third year.
The third, yeah. So, Kev, to your point, the milk went sour.
Pretty quick.
You know what I mean? Anyways, at the back, since we do have Mr. Pick here, who do you think is going to get in the back door for that Eastern Conference wildcard team?
Does it matter? They're just going to be smoked in the first round.
Point well taken.
So it's funny. We didn't even mention...
The NHL upsets happen, though.
We didn't even mention the team that has it right now is Columbus.
Just came in. They just slipped in, didn't they?
Yeah, they went in the back door after Montreal.
Yeah, which, you know what? And we're in trouble. Like I said, 3 games losing streaks kill you. We just had 3 now. My worst thing is when I heard Torts was fired and Montreal was playing with him, I went, oh, shit. Right away, as soon as I said, why didn't you fire him tomorrow? Don't fire him today. As soon as I heard he was fired, I said, we're playing them. Oh, no. You know what I mean? I almost bet against it, and I don't like to do that. I almost bet against the Habs because, I went...
I would love Montreal to sneak in the back door just to have more Canadian content in the NHL.
Always. That's what.
However, who are your next 2 games against?
Stop it.
Is it Florida?
I think it's Florida, Tampa.
Tampa.
We played Carolina last night, right? So it's Florida, Tampa, and somebody else good in the playoffs. So our next 3 games, we're in trouble.
Yeah. No, your next 2 games are Florida back-to-back.
Oh, is it Florida? And who's the game after that?
Then you have Boston.
Oh, don't worry about that game. But
Philly again, Predators, Red Wings, Senators.
We got to get 2 points out of the 4.
Senators is going to be a tough one, though. They're battling, and Red Wings, too. They're battling for a playoff spot.
But Columbus might come in the back door now. Maybe they fell off their cliff. They got the wheels back on.
New York Rangers is a team to watch out for, too. They got the goalie, and they have the tiebreaker.
But they're weak. They play in pink skates. Come on. As soon as the game gets tough, Rangers disappear.
They can goalie you, though, which makes them scary if they make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs. But they're not tough. They're not very tough.
They got the goalie, though. Arguably the best goalie in the world.
How do you go from President's Cup to fighting for the playoffs?
Who's the owner? James Dolan?
I didn't say that. You said that. In any event, I don't like the Rangers, but I think I'm worried about Columbus.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. After these 2 games, Montreal's schedule lightens up a bit, so I think they still have a good shot.
I don't buy it. So. I'm not buying the Islanders Kool-Aid at all.
Oh, no, neither am I. I love Patrick to death, but no.
He had a great message for us.
Had a great message. Love you, Patrick. But no. I'm not, Patrick, I'm not running down to, what is it, bet whatever, MGM bet. No, we're going to stay away, Patrick.
Yeah. A few records happened around the league. So Jesper Bratt set the Devils record for most assists in a season with 61, passing Scott Stevens of all people. Kiefer Sherwood set the NHL single season hits record with 10 games left to go. He hit 384.
That's kind of cool record.
Yeah.
Especially this era.
Yeah. All of them have been recent.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Sidney Crosby set the NHL record with his 20th point per game season, passing the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Patrick Maroon will retire at the end of the season.
Had a good career, buddy, but time to go.
There you go.
Time to go.
Jacob Chikrin signed an 8-year, $72 million extension with the Washington Capitals, putting him among one of the top paid defensemen in all the NHL.
I think he earned the contract, didn't you?
You know, he's been jettisoned by, 2 teams before this? I think
Arizona and Ottawa.
And the fact, and he was a
First round pick, top
prospect coming in. Like
it was like 15. He should have been like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, he dropped. He slipped. He slipped in the first round. He had that pedigree though, and it's good to see him getting the contract. It's big money, but knowing the cap is going up, he's been phenomenal for Washington.
I think the contract's at the right place at the right time because of salary cap jump. So what is it? How many years is it again?
8-year deal.
He goes, yeah. So 3 or 4 years from now, because he's still young. He's not that old. I think that'll be a good-looking contract.
I think so, too.
In a couple of years, okay?
Also, Tyler Toffoli scored his 25th goal. So he has scored 25 goals now with 5 different teams.
I think that's a cool... when I heard about that I was watching the game live you guys were too, when they brought it up. And then you think about the other guys that did it. One of them was, like I said, Ray Ferraro. I was caught off guard.
He bounced around a bit.
Yeah, and he's one of the guys. The other one, I think, is Mike Gartner. The other 2 guys are really good scorers that you know about.
Yeah, because Gardner scored basically everywhere he went.
Yeah. So I think he was one of the guys because there's only 3 or 4 or maybe 5 guys that have done it. But I think that's an amazing accomplishment. Like, what does that tell you? Is that because he was, a lot of times with Toffoli, he was like trade bait or that guy that not you didn't want him, but he was that serviceable descending thing going to Washington. He was always that guy in that position.
He's that middle six guy. You could play him like he's like a second liner. You know,
we didn't pay him. That's why he went to L.A. from us. We didn't. No,
he went to Vancouver.
I mean, Vancouver, because we didn't want to pay him. Like, couldn't we use him in our lineup right now?
A lot of teams could use a Tyler Toffoli.
Oh, no kidding.
Let's get into the Leafs. So they blew it against Nashville last Saturday. A horrible second, third period. Might have been one of the worst games all year. Go into the next game, dominate Philly, cost Tortorella his job. And then they fall 6-5 in the shootout to San Jose in a game that they probably should have had, but let slip away. Almost came back to win it in overtime, but I will still take a point. But they need 5 on this road trip in Cali.
Okay, so knowing that you're a fan and all, one of the things I was saying in the last month is this. Toronto's blowing it with, thank God they banked the points early, but they've just blown this division lead. Like, they should be up 5 or 6 points by now, easily. Because it wouldn't matter to you. Like, you got to play who you got to play.
Florida and Tampa are saying that same thing, though.
Everybody's singing the same song, but are they all? They're all liars. Every one of them's a liar. Who do you want in the first round?
Whoever's not in that 3. I want the wild card team. Give me Ottawa.
That's what I'm saying. And then, but Toronto beats Ottawa. Not 7 games this year. You'll slap those guys. There's no doubt about it. But that's what I'm saying. This is, if I was you guys, like, we're fighting for our lives, my team. Okay? And if we don't make it, if you heard what this guy said about Montreal around Christmas time, it was rude. I'd call his mother and say, stop talking like that. It got pretty rude. But we're here now. That's the way it is. But we kept saying back then, Toronto, when are you going to put your hand around the neck? So you got them. You know, like, if they end up not getting a first, and you know what, they can still fall to 3. Because they're going now, you know what I mean? There's only 2. I don't think they will.
I think they pull it out.
I think they do too. But to win the division?
Yeah. I think we do it.
I think that you'd win the division on this respect that sometimes I think Florida cares less than you do guys about that.
Well, we still have 2 games left against Florida.
And you have 2 games against that could make it right there.
Yeah.
That
I think so too.
And we could help you guys out. We could help you guys and help ourselves at the same time. You know, that's a good Canadian friends and family.
There you go.
Let's help each other out, right?
I think one thing we're seeing is the Leafs go down the stretch, the loss to Nashville and even the loss to San Jose, they shouldn't have happened. I think we're seeing, I mean, the big question going into the playoffs for Toronto is who's going to start game 1, because you have Stolarz and Wall. I think Stolarz has kind of separated himself a little bit.
I agree.
At the moment. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this.
I mean, all season, he's been the better goalie.
There's 2 things I got to ask you as a Leaf guy. So, and I'm not. I'm going to ask you 2 questions because I'm interested in knowing. What do you think of Austin Matthews' season?
It's been a disappointment.
Really?
You know what? You have such high expectations. When a guy scores 69 goals in a season, you really expect him to continue to progress and score at that level. He hasn't. I mean, he has. I mean, he's having a good season. He's not having a great season. His season's being overshadowed by Marner, Nylander, Tavares. I think that's the problem. He needs to be the number 1 guy, but.
My take on it is this. I don't think he's having that bad of a season because the metrics say that he's been great defensively. And when he finally scored the game there, did you know this? He was in the top 3 in shots and chances in the league.
Yeah.
In that
stretch. I didn't say he's having a bad season.
I just think he's a bit snake bitten.
I think he's not having the season that everyone expected him to have. And I think that's the part of the media issue in Toronto. I mean, he's still over a point per game guy. He's scoring at a pretty high clip. He's not having that transcendent season that we'd expect after he signed a big contract.
But what about the
He's going to get another one, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not too concerned. He's playing a good 2-way game. He's
one of the best in the league.
Effective 5-on-5 and on the penalty kill. And I think a real reason for optimism for the Leafs is their power play is actually working down the stretch, unlike the last few years.
Which is huge in the playoffs. It's going to be there. But I'm just saying this, and people have forgotten about this. We don't know what the injury issue is with Austin Matthews either.
Something with his wrist, isn't it?
Something like that, which is probably the reason why some of the shots he's taken hasn't been as tight as he's been. But look at how many times you've seen a highlight film this year, a goaltender making a great save. Who took the shot? Oh, there's Matthews. Look in the Four Nations Cup, Kev. Matthews got robbed by Binghamton twice. He should have been the hero of that series. Twice he had that chance to do it. So is he playing bad? He wasn't playing bad. He just never, to me personally, I still think he's one of the best in the league. And I watch him, the night he played against Colorado, the night they were losing, McKinnon got nothing. It was a power play for Colorado. But look, what did McKinnon do that night? And he was on the ice the whole time with Matthews. So Matthews was doing his job. What I think is that sometimes it's probably the same way with Montreal. The media in this city is so brutal at times. What's wrong with Matthews? I'll take him.
To be honest, I haven't heard a lot of that. I've heard more praise for this Nylander's having a great season. Marner and Tavares, both in contract years, are both producing really well, above expectations. I've actually heard more on that end than negativity around Matthews. I think Matthews is having a good season.
I think he's solid. Me too. Yeah. I really do. I've heard a few negative nannies, and I just said, wow, I'll take him in a minute. My second question is this. Okay, so now they play in the first round, and they play Florida.
That's a little bit unlikely. I'd say it's more likely Tampa or Ottawa.
Okay, I'm going to say they're going to play one of the Florida teams. Okay, one of the Florida teams. They go to Game 7. They lose in overtime. Greatest game you ever seen in your life. What do the Leafs do then?
Not going to Game 7. Leafs beat Tampa in 6.
I love your optimism. I'm just saying.
I do think we have Tampa's number.
Oh, you guys are just listen to you guys. Look at you,
Leafs
homers.
Figured out Vasilevsky.
What's that?
They figured out Vasilevsky.
I hope you guys are right.
They put up a field goal every night against him. They play.
Okay, there you go. But I think it's going to be a real enigma. I hope it doesn't happen for the city. Let's let Toronto go to the freaking conference finals so we can have a fun spring. That's how I look at it. However, Kev, this is going to be very interesting. For now, you're going to have to make the question again about Marner, and Tavares is going to stay. But Kev, I've been saying this about Toronto. Like, what would you want to break up really? Like, think about what you got this team. You got 2 goaltenders that are under 30 that are solid, which no team in the league has got. So you got that tandem to do, okay? Not only that, you're going to have 5 solid defensemen.
Our top 7 are locked in for the next, 3 years.
Yeah, the defensemen aren't changing. The goaltenders are both on contract for next year. Really, the big question is Marner, Tavares. Nyes is is an RFA.
So
I'm worried about losing Tavares.
I think because
you think someone's going to overbid for him?
I think someone could sneak in July 1st.
I think someone could try to throw a tender at Nyes.
I heard there's rumors.
I think we would match it, much like St. Louis did with the 2 guys on Edmonton last year, and Edmonton ended up getting a couple draft picks. You would need a lot more money to get Nyes than those guys, but I think Toronto might have to consider it if they're going to try to bring back Marner and Tavares as well.
Is it Weeks? The black guy was a goalie? Is that Weeks?
Yeah. Kevin Weeks, he's the insider.
The inside. I seen him on NHL Network the other day. He was talking to a couple guys down in America down there, and they brought that up. And Nye's name came up. They said, who would be a potential? And Nye's name came up. Who would you throw a tender at? Nye's name came up immediately. I went, whoa, that caught me off guard. And this isn't even in Toronto. This is somewhere else. And I heard it. I went, whoa, wait here.
The thing about Nyes, though, is
don't let him go.
Yeah, I think teams might be a little bit scared to do that just because of the compensation it would take.
Yeah, but he's not big enough now. What would be? Maybe 1 first rounder, maybe?
No, I think you're getting into 2 first round pick territory. You would have to throw at least.
Does his metrics say that? Because there's a book on it, isn't there, that they determine? You do this, you do that.
It's about contract value. So they would have to offer him a pretty hefty contract, and it's based on.
And that would be the contract. You're right. Sorry, you're right. So maybe that could be the tie-up. But I wouldn't want to get rid of Nyes. We've been championing him in the last couple of years.
I'm more worried about Tavares than anything.
I think he's going to take the hometown discount.
I'm worried about someone sneaking in July 1st.
Well, someone's going to do what Nashville did to Stamkos, I think.
Yes,
okay, but here's the difference I heard. He doesn't live in Oakville anymore. He actually moved his family down to some trendy place in Hyde Park. Is that true?
He was
Royal York?
No. He was playing. His kids, funny enough, his kids were playing soccer in the Clarkson Soccer League with mine last year.
Yeah. So is he still out there? I heard he was buying back down. Because that's one of the things that he's there. Yeah, he's been Oakville forever though. That Oakville Clarkson will look where you are, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that he's going to take a hometown discount because they say all the family. And how old is he now? 35.
Yeah.
You know, does he want to go anywhere else? He's got all the money in the world. He's going to win that tax case, by the way, that's coming up in July. He's going to win that. So that's another bag money. He's not have to worry about money.
We have a lot of time to talk about this. We can talk about that all throughout July 1st. But obviously, got to shout out Nylander, the second Swede, to get to 3 consecutive 40-goal seasons, joining Marcus Naslund. Big shout out for him. I should also mention Skinner being injured for the Oilers. A West wildcard quickly before we move on to picks. Who do we got? St. Louis, Vancouver, or Calgary?
St. Louis. They're hot right now. They got big game Binnington back there.
I think Vancouver is going to come through the back door. They've been looking good in the last week.
Interesting. I'm going to pick Calgary.
Oh, wow. Around the horn.
Yeah.
Around the horn. That's funny. So you're saying St. Louis, I'm saying Vancouver, and you're saying Calgary.
Calgary, yeah.
I'm liking Vancouver's strength. It's the strength of schedule. That's got me. When I look at their
weird
schedule,
team, though. People are saying that Tippett's already got, or not Tippett.
Tocchet,
excuse me. Yeah, thank you. He's got 1 foot out the door looking at that Philly job.
Oh, former Philly guy.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. Let's get to our picks.
Yes, let's move on to our picks.
Do the Habs play tonight, too? Yes, it's back-to-back, right?
I don't believe so.
No, they play Sunday.
So last week, I was 12 for 14. Cruz, you were 6 for 14. I'm up on this season series 11-9, and I'm up on the tiebreaker by 17 now.
Oh, killing me. So, yeah, but I took a bunch of crazy picks last week trying to catch up. I failed miserably. I bit off my nose despite my face is what I did.
So Montreal not in action tonight.
Thank God.
So first up, we have matinee Buffalo at Philadelphia. I'm going to take Philly to win this one at home.
Yeah, I'll take it too because of the bump. Should be a shitty game. Who's going to be watching?
They already went through the coach bump. Let's go Buffalo.
Oh, pick
Buffalo on the road.
Okay, all right. That's another team I can't figure out, Kev. Is it the Paluga guy? Is he
Pagula?
Terry Pagula?
Is he?
I don't know. Buffalo's the worst team in the
and look, but
Eastern Conference.
But look at how the Bills are run compared to the way the Sabres are run. It doesn't make no sense.
They've had so many first round picks or top 5 picks for so long.
Islanders at the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to take the Islanders to steal this one on the road.
No, Tampa's staying in there. They need it. Sorry, St. Patty, we love you, but no, taking Tampa.
Tampa is the heaviest favorite today, so that's a bold pick for the Islanders. I'll take Tampa.
St. Louis Blues at the Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to take the Avs to win this one at home.
Oh, and they need it. They need it. Yeah, so definitely taking the Avs at home. On a Saturday, I think their Saturday night record at home is insane.
I'll take Colorado as well. My home away from home from a team standpoint.
I hear you. That's been a long time.
We'll go into the New Jersey Devils at the Minnesota Wild. I'm going to take Minnesota at home.
I think I will too on a Saturday night. I'm not sure about Jersey anymore. I thought they'd fall off the cliff, but they're holding on pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go with New Jersey.
Yeah.
Vegas Golden Knights at the Nashville Predators. I'm going to take Vegas to steal it on the road.
I'm saying Saturday night for the shindig. I'm taking the Saturday night homers. You know how much I like them. I'm taking Nashville at home. Vegas is going to take the night off.
Nashville's not a good team. Vegas it is.
Columbus Blue Jackets at the Ottawa Senators. I'm going to take Columbus on the road.
Wow. I'm taking Ottawa on a Saturday night in Canada.
Toronto at LA. I'm going to take the Leafs to steal this one on the road.
I'm taking LA on a Saturday night with the best home record in hockey.
Mind.
I'm taking the Kings. Best home record.
Best home record, but they're forced to play at a 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's a bit of an FU, but you know what? Their home record's amazing. LA.
Do you agree with me that some teams around the league, he says no, the preferential treatment the Leafs get on Saturday is ridiculous.
Same that the Habs get. Boston at Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit at home.
I hope on principle.
Yeah, Red Wings at home.
Yeah, on principle at Caesars.
Calgary at Edmonton. I'm going to take Edmonton at home.
I'm going to take the over in that game if I bet. I think Edmonton's due for a game where they want to crush somebody.
Edmonton for me.
What do you think they're going to win by? 2 or 3?
The over. That's a high over under 2, 6.5.
Is it? Yeah, they're going to be going to kill.
New York Rangers at the San Jose Sharks. I think the Rangers are going to be pissed about that game last night. I think they take it.
I like Celebrini.
Wow.
I heard something from Busigrosh, the ESPN. I'm probably butchering his name, but the Will Smith guy on San Jose. He called him the next Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still going to take New York.
Yeah, but that guy's a weird player too, eh? Did you see his face alone?
Yeah.
What if
he's a two-way guy.
Oh yeah.
Dallas at Seattle. I'm going to take Dallas on the road.
Big time.
Yep, Dallas on the road.
All right. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you.
And we'll move this over to the bread and butter today, our Major League Baseball segment.
Here we go. And thank God, everybody, that we're not panic on the second day of the season where Toronto comfortably came back for an 8-2 win after getting their asses handed to them on opening day. So we're going to go to the preview, but I'm just going to say this, and we agree with that. I don't know who the marketing people are. I don't know how you want to get more guys on the game. But yesterday's afternoon's home opening start time was the worst I've seen ever in the history of the Blue Jays. What are we doing on a Thursday afternoon starting a game for home opener? Shouldn't it at least been at 7?
Home opener's always in the afternoon,
yeah.
though.
No, a couple years we had it at 7 o'clock. A couple years ago we had it on a Friday night. We went down. Remember, a few years ago it was on a Friday night. It was at
I don't
the home
mind
opener.
it. It's like part of the tradition.
As a fan, I love having that afternoon game.
I did too, but on a Thursday,
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I thought it was weird. I didn't get the feeling.
You're
First
retired.
of all, no, I was running around walking my dog. I don't even think they should start baseball in March anyway. Should be April 1st.
Yeah, it's the earliest that the team's ever started, or in the last 30 years. So.
Yeah, so it's another thing I'm complaining about. Started in April.
We're back to the view.
Thank you. It started in April, but anyways, continue. Sorry, guys. I bothered me. I went, come on.
So I guess we're going to go division by division here since we're kind of pressed for time. Do I just go American League first, just get the Blue Jays out of the way?
If you want, or you want to take a look, and we're just going to run through and then talk about the things that we want to talk about afterwards, as long as Mr. Pick is here. Okay, so you want to go division by division first? Let's just go quickly from the NL West and across, like we were going to do.
Okay.
We'll go quickly across.
Okay, so let's go NL East first. I think the Atlanta Braves are the class of this division. I have them winning it.
I was going to say that too, but not anymore. Too many injuries on that team. So there'll be a wild card, but they got 3 or 4 guys going, and their starting rotation's a little questionable as we speak. So I'm going to say it's going to keep Philly on the top for me.
Isn't Thing coming back soon, though?
Until I see him, then I'll say okay. But what is it? 2 of their starters are down.
Well, he's back pitching again in the minors, so I think he's going to be back soon.
Asuna's going to miss so many games. The young prospect they have coming up missing a game. I'll say Atlanta's going to make the playoffs, but I think that they're going to have those slow starts that they're going to have to. The Mets and Philly, I don't think Mets are going to be near as good as anyone thinks they are.
I have them in a wild card spot.
So you say all 3 teams are going to make it then? Philly, Mets, and Braves?
I think Philly misses.
Really?
I think they're too old. Something's going to break down.
I'm of the belief that possible, but then when you got the San Francisco, San Diego thing going on too, you got to consider that. But we'll continue. So what are you saying? You say Braves. What are you saying going to win the division?
Braves win the division. I got the Mets in a wild card spot.
Yeah, I like the Braves winning the division. They're going to hold on until their reinforcements come back. Acuna and Strider coming back later in the season. I think they have too much talent, top to bottom, in their roster and in their bullpen. I think they win the division.
But if they have a start like last year that's just a little bit behind, then it's the catch-up game. But it's 162 games. We're going to have to wait and see.
I think they're going to get some bounce-back performances. I think Olsen's going to hit better than he did last year.
I agree. I'm not. I say they're making the playoffs for sure. I just thought when I was doing some research this week and I was going through what's going on in Atlanta, there's a lot of question marks to start their season. Like a lot. Now, we get to June 1st, and they're going to probably not have these question marks, but that's two months of games they're going to be playing. What, 500 ball? It's not going to be good enough for their division. So you think Philadelphia's going to fall out of the playoffs?
I think so.
Wow. I thought Philadelphia would repeat, but I'm going to say the Mets maybe, but I'm not so sure. I don't think they have enough pitching.
So who do you got winning the division?
Philly.
Yeah, I do have Philly in a wild card spot. Their top end their pitching in general is the class of the division,
and their bullpen.
Yeah, their bullpen. It's already been shaky. Romano's already had a one bad game, and they actually
right out of my mouth.
Yeah,
but he's not going to be the chief closer, is he?
So
he is for now. That's why they signed him. To give him the bag.
Yeah, but that bag's nothing to me. The kid that they got coming up is probably going to end up closing. That kid, they say, he's throwing 95. I forget the kid's name. But I think he went down, though, on that stupid thing that, what's that rule? So they get another year.
Oh, he's going to come up in mid-May.
I think you're talking about Painter. He's their top pitching prospect, one of the top prospects in the league.
But they sent him back down, didn't they?
They did, but they also have new rules this year. I know you're a very conspiracy theory guy to get an extra year. They have new rules this year. If you have a rookie up at the start of the year and he wins Rookie of the Year, you get an extra draft pick in the following year. So there is incentive to keep guys up now.
I did not know about that. I learned something today.
Yeah.
So why didn't we keep Martinez then?
So, there's no room for him right now. So Painter, the issue with him is he's coming back from he's had a lot of injury history. So they're going to give him a bit more time to throw some innings in the minors, and they're going to really monitor his innings this year. And
that's why they said they might leave him in the bullpen. But he threw 93 the other day, wasn't it?
They don't have room for him in the starting rotation right now.
So that's why I heard about the bullpen. But I said he's throwing 93, wasn't it? On the clock?
He's throwing higher than that.
So 93, 90, yeah?
Yeah. So I think Philly still gets a wild card spot. Their pitching's too good. Their hitting, it's aging. Their hitting is aging. But I think they still have a year or two left.
Like Schwarber 32, Turner turning 32, Harper's 32, Real Muto's 34, Castellanos is 33, Wheeler's turning 35, Nola's turning 32, Walker's 32, Romano's 32.
It's an old team, but you do have two of those hitters on in contract years in Schwarber and Real Muto, so you might see a bit of extra out of them this year.
That's what I'm saying. I think they've got enough because you look around the other teams in the division. I don't think the Mets have enough pitching to me, for starters. Their front end is good. The first couple, three, and if the other kid pitches good, they could have three good
starting
starters.
pitching is their question.
But that's a big question for them. So I think in the long run, so I'm not sure if I even think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be playing meaningful games in September, but we got to talk about that West Coast division. LA's going to win it. But then
you guys got nothing to say about Washington and Miami?
So,
really?
I mean, just while we're on the Mets, I think they have enough. They'll get enough starting pitching to make a wild card. I have 3 teams in this division making the wild card.
I thought about that too, but then I had no balls.
Just given the other 2 teams, Washington's up and coming. They're going to have an exciting young group there, and I think they're a couple. Call it the Bruno Caboclo, 2 years away from being 2 years away. But when they get there, they're going to be exciting. The Marlins are just going to be everyone's doormat.
Yeah. So you have the Mets making the playoffs too?
Yeah, I have 3 teams coming out of this division.
Do you have any wild cards from this division?
I'm taking definitely Atlanta.
Okay.
I got Atlanta. He was opposite that way. So who's coming out of the Central? Do you think anyone's coming out of the Central?
Well, one team has to win it. No one's getting a wild card. Someone's going to win by default. When we get into that division, we'll go.
Okay, so
my biggest question was, do I have 3 teams in the West or 3 teams in the East?
That was my question too. And the thing about it is, I was looking at San Francisco starting pitching, and I went, yes and no. You know what I mean? It looks kind of good on paper, but who do they got after Logan Webb and the next guy? He's pretty good. I forget his name. If you go down, but
they're hoping for a big bounce back year from Verlander, or at least just staying healthy. But Verlander's in his 40s now.
Come on, I
don't think the Giants have the hitting though.
I kind of think they do, and they got a couple young kids that are kind of maybe it's going to be their next step. Because like I'm saying, like I think San Francisco's been one of the guys. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Another slugger in the house. I'm of the belief that. I was saying this before you got on here, pre-production. There's about 5 guys right now that we're not talking about in baseball that we'll be talking about by June. Semenuk's probably got him hidden on his bench somewhere in fantasy. You know what I mean?
Semenuk wasn't the champion last year.
I know.
I was.
Thank you very much. But you guys are sneaky. I got to pay attention. You know, these guys had guys on their teams buried from 2 years ago, but that's another problem. But there's about 5 guys right now that we might be hearing about by June 1st going, yo, one of them's a kid on San Francisco. We'll see.
Can we have a name?
I'll give it to you right now.
Calling out his lack of name recognition. That's okay. But that's the thing.
Biggest problem with me, the names. I always forget the name. Painter is the guy you brought up for me. I was thinking about it. I didn't know his name.
So the thing with the whole National League and the format, every year, I think for the last 5 or 6 years, it's always been 1 team from the Central and then 5 teams from the East or the West. So I think we're going to follow the same trajectory this year. I get it. There's a bit of optimism around the Giants, and they're a good market. I did think about, obviously, we know LA is going to win that division.
Oh, yeah.
I did think about the Diamondbacks and the Padres, kind of between the two. The Padres, they're a weird team. They're always looking to sell somebody. I don't know why.
But you know what? Look at the front end of their rotation, though. Why would they want to be selling? I looked at them. I think they're making the playoffs again.
I do.
I have the Padres 3rd.
Yeah.
I have the Giants 4th in the West.
Oh, you got Arizona up there?
I have Arizona 2nd.
I don't know if they have enough pitching either.
Well, they signed Corbin Burns.
They needed that.
As well as Zach Gallen, and they have a couple other guys later.
And don't they have Robbie Ray trying to come back? No, he's in San Fran, right?
San Fran.
Yeah, because they say, what if he has a kickback season for San Francisco? They'll be in a good shape following Webb and what's his name. But I don't know about Arizona because they don't hit.
Well, they actually had a very good hitting year last year. I think a lot of their guys overachieved. Keltel Marte I think he was top 5 in MVP voting last year. And one of the really great seasons for a second baseman recently. I think he falls back a little bit, and I'm also very invested in him from a fantasy standpoint.
I understand that completely.
They brought in Josh Naylor from Cleveland, good Canadian boy.
That's a big pickup.
But they lost Christian Walker, so it was 1 in, 1 out. I don't think they have enough depth on the hitting side. Mind you, we haven't talked about Corbin Carroll, he
should have a bounce back.
He had a great second half last year. Struggled in the first.
I was just going to say.
Great second half. So they have some guys, but they're not very deep on their hitters, which I ultimately, reason I left them just outside of the playoffs, and I have LA winning that division and San Diego coming in second in a wild card.
That's how I did too. And the reason I left Arizona out is you made a good point. I'm not saying they're a good hitting team because you look at their metrics. You got to do the All-Star break. Did you see Arizona as a hitting team? Oh, my God. And then all of a sudden in the second half they made the run and they looked really good. So I'm saying is that makes me think, what about the whole season? Can they do that again? So that's why I left them inside out. I really think San Diego is going to get there because look at they got a veteran lineup of hitters. And their front end of the rotation is great, and they got a closer.
So you have the Padres and the Giants?
No, I have Padres. I don't have the Giants making that. I have the Padres making it.
So who's your other wild card?
I'm gonna have to. I don't want. I don't know. I have to think about it because I think this is all a joke until we get to May or June 1st because we don't know what the teams are going to look like, who's going to get hurt, whatever. I'm going to put my money on LA and San Diego. After that, and I like Atlanta. What's up? What's up? I like Atlanta and I like
San Diego,
Philadelphia. But so we're going to take the Mets, the Giants. I'm thinking this, honestly.
Mets, Giants, or Arizona.
Okay,
Sounds like it's your choice.
Let's go to the Central Division. What are you guys saying about that?
I'm on the Cubs.
So I can't Milwaukee.
I have Milwaukee winning.
I got the Cubs.
It's a tight race.
Very tight.
With Milwaukee, the Cubs. I think Pittsburgh's going to be that much better this year.
I have them fourth.
St. Louis is old. They're aged out. And I'm missing one. Oh, and Cincinnati doesn't have the pitching to
Cardinals have a strong back into the bullpen, though. That's going to help them win a lot of games.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, too. And they got 7 starters, and they might start with 6-man rotation. But if you look at the 7 starters, you see who they are?
Yeah.
Me, you, and you, and you. That's why I said 7 starters. I said because I'm looking at the preview and go, St. Louis got 7 starters? That's fucking great. Then I looked at who the 7 starters were, and I went, wow.
Sonny Gray's their ace.
Sonny Gray, what's his name? McCollus or whatever.
Oh, Miles McCollus.
He's past his best before date. Who else? Whatever. There are a lot of guys.
You read the Phillies' age. If you get into the Cardinals' age, they have a lot of guys in the middle to the back end of 30.
That's why I said, let's look at these guys. I don't think they're going to make it, and I don't think they have enough development going on. The field is a field position team, so even though it's a huge market, I have them third too. And you know what about Cincinnati in that division? Here's what weirds me out about that team. 2 years ago when we were starting, they were a sexy pick. Mm-hmm. And from 2 years ago, so last year they were a sexy pick to be maybe getting in there. What happened? The team fell apart.
Don't have the pitching.
No, so
they have a sexy batting lineup, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a lot of young guys. Yeah, I know what I mean. And they run like crazy. They're exciting to watch. So what are they going to lose? 7-6 all the time?
That's the thing.
I can't see them in Pittsburgh either. I see a little bit of an improvement because they got the Job kid coming, and the others they got some eventual pitchers, but not your year away.
They have the best pitcher in the league.
Oh, best pitcher maybe in baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's one guy. But you always good to have a horse.
So the guy they have coming is Bubba Starling.
Oh, yeah, Starling.
Job's on Detroit.
Yeah, the other guys. So both of them guys are coming up, which is going to make them better teams.
Who do you got winning the division? Cubs?
Cubs winning. Cubs. And I think my other playoff teams, I think Milwaukee's better enough. They might come in the back door. Who do you think's a better team, the Mets or Milwaukee?
Mets.
Milwaukee let some stuff go away. On paper.
The Central doesn't send 2 teams to the playoffs. Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
What? No, I'm going to say that. Is it the aberration?
You're large. You're like me, even though your arms are fucking huge.
So you're choosing Milwaukee for the wild card?
I'm going to take the Mets and be a sellout.
Weak.
I thought San Francisco was going to go, but I looked at the depth of their lineup and I said,
no.
162 games with that lineup? It looks good now, and what if they do hold up? And the reason picking San Diego, look at the front of the rotation. You can't think if their top 3 guys are as good as any 3 in baseball. Yeah. So you got it. When you got 3 starters like that, that gives you a chance to get in the door.
They were the only team that had 2 starters with 200 strikeouts last year
and 200 innings pitched.
Yeah, in King and Dylan Cease.
How you doing, buddy? You guys, so we'll have to wait and see.
We'll move this to the AL West, where I have Texas, winning this division. But can they hang on with their starting pitching is their big question.
I'm taking Seattle to win that division. I'm just saying pitching's going to get them all the way.
Yeah.
They got enough bullpen, enough starters, guys. They got 4 guys who go 200 innings this year.
Yeah, they have the best rotation in the league. If Kirby comes back healthy, so their ace is on the shelf right now.
He's on the shelf.
He's got a shoulder issue. If he can come back healthy, their pitching is lights out, and I'd put that against anybody, especially over, you said, 162 game season. They've got 6 guys, 7 guys. They're deep as well.
But guys, hear me out. Seattle are choke artists. They're not making the playoffs.
Wow. Too much pitching. They got to do it now.
They'll find a way to screw it up. They always do.
I'm taking Seattle to win the division.
Who's going to hit?
What?
Who's going to hit?
Somebody, but you don't. If they hit it,
I think Julio Rodriguez is going to bounce back, sure, but like.
And a couple other guys are going to back too. Look,
not enough. Their hitting depth isn't strong enough.
I don't know.
It's a tough division because I truly think 4 teams can win this division. I'm punting the Angels. They're last.
Oh,
I'm not
giving them the
but
time of day.
the team I'm most intrigued about out of any team in the league this year is the Athletics. They're not the Oakland Athletics. They're not the Las Vegas Athletics. They're just the Athletics.
And there's a lot of good things to be said about that team. They're
in a new ballpark, so their hitting's going to play that much better. They've got the best hitters you never talk about. Brent Rooker he could hit 50 home runs this year. Their leadoff hitter, what's his name?
Okay, just before
they have a strong back into the bullpen too, but I don't think they have the starting pitching. I think that's going to be their
they invested this year. They never invest. They bought Luis Severino. He's not a front end starter, but he's a good pitcher, and they invested that in there this year. They're hitting. They've got all these guys in their mid to early 20s that if 2 or 3 of them hit this year. Soderstrom, their first baseman's already had a phenomenal start. Butler, their leadoff hitter. JJ Bleday last year broke out. Brent Rooker had almost 40 home runs last year. They've got hitting.
One of the guys I seen on the MLB Network was talking about, I always say there's going to be 5 guys that we've never heard of, but we're talking about June 1st. They brought up the Athletics.
Yeah.
They were looking at their lineup and said it could come right out of this lineup right here because they're young, but do they have enough pitching?
They're a team I'm looking at for next year.
Yeah, but they've got all the metrics that say good things could happen because they invested in bullpen too. They went out and grabbed a couple. They grabbed
starting
a couple
pitching, I'm saying, is a little bit of a worry,
but they did invest in some bullpen, but I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
No,
I like Seattle to win it, and everybody else in that division. Texas should be better. They're a big money team. They got on paper they look okay, but they're more Seattle for me.
Listen, Texas doesn't have a bullpen.
No.
Their starters are contingent on Jacob deGrom having his first healthy season in 5 or 6. Their lineup's not as deep as you think it would be.
No.
I have Texas.
I think it's deep enough.
I have Texas as the 4th place team here.
I have not making the playoffs.
No, I don't have them in the playoffs. I have
either.
Seattle winning the division. Houston, it's hard to. But I think they got worse this year.
I think people are sleeping on them, though. I have Houston in the wild card.
I do not have Houston in the wild card this year.
I don't think I have them in the wild card either. I think they're doing that thing where they're keeping Altuve to make the fans thing, but they're doing that thing where they're not rebuilding, they're retooling. They're kind of retooling. Because look at who they let go.
I think they have an underrated roster, though.
I don't think it's underrated. I mean, Yordan Alvarez is one of the better hitters in the league.
Yeah, of course.
Christian Walker, who they got from Arizona, he hits 30 home runs every year.
Yeah, but I don't think
Altuve. Do you hear he's making a transition to left field this year?
Yeah, because he made too many errors last year.
Yeah, and he's getting
older.
Up there.
Yeah, he'll be a DH in 18 months.
Their back end of their bullpen is really good.
Yep.
Their rotation, it's already looking pretty shaky. I do think, I'm going back on what I originally was going with, but I do think Houston is going to get in the wild card spot with the Athletics 3rd in this division, and kind of competing for next year.
So you have 3 teams from this division making it in?
No, 2.
Oh, so you have Texas out.
I have Texas 4th in this division.
Oh, okay. I thought you were okay.
Okay, so that's in the West. The only team in the West that I'm thinking about making is
Seattle.
Like I'm done with that.
Yeah,
I'm done with that. That's the only one because just not enough pitching in that division.
How about the Central? I got Kansas City winning. Sorry, Cruz. I have the Tigers 3rd. I think Cleveland's 2nd.
I thought Cleveland gave up too much, but I think that the other thing you got to remember about the bump. We should have mentioned this in Cincinnati. The other thing, they got Francona as their
They do.
And he's always giving a team a 10-game bump.
In Cincinnati.
So I've meant to mention that. So he's going to give them a bump.
He's made the playoffs in his first season as a new coach in both Boston and Cleveland.
I don't think he has the talent to do it here, but he's going to give that team a bump.
No,
but let's get back to what we were
back
talking
to the
about.
AL Central. I got Kansas City.
I got Detroit winning it because Detroit could be some of the guys that you're going to see. Riley Green, is this his breakout year?
Maybe. What hitter do they have outside of Riley Green?
They got a bunch of 260 guys and some pitching.
I don't think their batting lineup is deep enough, and I don't trust their bullpen.
Oh, do you trust Kansas City's?
I do. They have a pretty good back end. They have some guys you haven't heard of, but they were all solid last year.
That can hit.
What's that?
They got more guys that can hit.
I like Kansas City to win as well. I think Bobby Witt's my favorite for AL MVP. He's awesome.
Good. Okay, so what are we doing? Are we dismissing Cleveland?
No, I have Cleveland.
Second place.
I have second.
Okay. Do you have them making the playoffs?
Yep, I do.
I have them in Detroit making the playoffs. That's what I thought because I was leaving Kansas City outside looking in, even though I gave them a long shot because the front of the rotation isn't bad. You know, when you look at the front of the rotation, it's not bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you said there's a couple prospects that are coming in. If they bloom the way that they say they do, it could be a whole new ball game. They could get there. But that's why we say about making the prediction to me, and sometimes I'm throwing this at the wall because what I'm saying today could be different May 1st.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like right now, I'm not putting the Athletics in. I'm really tempted to. If I see a strong first month from them, I think I don't want to hop all aboard right now, but I do think they have the possibility.
Best in years.
Yeah.
Best in years. The people are talking about it. And it's the whole thing of where they're changing, where they're playing, the management shift, and they've actually spent some money.
Yeah.
You know?
So obviously we saved the best for last, the AL East. Cruz, you have 2 wild card spots left. I have 2. You only have 1 left. I have the Boston Red Sox winning the division.
I also have the Boston Red Sox winning the division. So the formula here, they invested in pitching in Crochet from the White Sox.
Stoled.
He is legit front end starter. Candidate. They have the best farm system in the league with guys that are going to contribute this year. They're already starting the second baseman.
Yeah.
They have Roman Anthony, who's outside of Sasaki on the Dodgers. He's the number 1 prospect in the league.
Yep.
He's waiting in the wings in the outfield. They invested in Bregman. Devers is still there. Their first baseman Cassis could have a huge breakout season. He was on the way. He was on the way there last year before he got hurt. Their bullpen is a bit shaky. Right now, they're relying on Aroldis Chapman, who's, still in the league and somehow, but they're relying on him in the back end. But they have a couple other guys that could be okay. I think
Boston. Chapman could be solid this year.
I'm looking at this. To me, Boston's all the P word, potential. That's all I hear about them. They got the potential. Till I see them on the field, I don't see them being any better than Toronto, to tell you the truth. I don't see
That's
them
a
being,
take.
I'm telling you 100% because what I'm going to say about our Blue Jays is we got 6 starters. Nobody in the American East is even come close to us. The Yankees are a freaking shitstorm as we start the season, so they're going to be behind.
Well, our rotation, there's question marks. How many innings are we going to get out of Scherzer?
If he gets 20 starts, then we got bonus.
That's a big if.
Okay, but I'm still saying we got, what's his name, Rodriguez in the bullpen right now, and he's ready to step out, and I think Bowden Francis is going to be our ace by July 1st. That's just what I'm saying. And we supposedly have enough defense for these pitchers, so we should be competitive. But what did we do last year? We went through this last year. What ended up happening? Do you think Toronto's going to make the playoffs, guys?
I have them in 4th place.
I have them in last place in the division.
Oh, my God. I have Tampa in last. I have Toronto actually in 3rd. Because I think Baltimore is going to win the division.
I have Baltimore in 2nd in a wild card.
I have Baltimore in 1st. I have Yankees in 2nd. I have Toronto in 3rd. I have Boston in 4th. But that must be just because I'm a hater.
So you have the Yankees in the wild card?
Yes. I'm going to have the Yankees and Baltimore are both going to make the playoffs.
So you have 2 teams from Mississippi. You need a 3rd wild card.
I thought I got them all. Didn't I get? I said Milwaukee. No, I said Detroit. And
no, you have Detroit winning the division. Then you say Cleveland, the Yankees.
So I need one more wild card?
Yeah. Who do you have 2nd place?
So I have Boston winning the division, Yankees 2nd in a wild card, Baltimore 3rd, Tampa 4th, and it pains me, but the Jays in 5th after they trade Vladimir Guerrero prior to the deadline.
Oh, no, he's killing us both, eh? Killing us both. So that means Bichette's got a god too then?
I actually think there's a better shot they sign Bichette.
I think it's a better shot they sign Vladdy. Did you hear Aikens the other day?
Yeah, he's doing that for the fans because everyone's upset right now.
I don't know what to believe anymore, but I think that the Blue Jays are going to be better than expected. That 12-2 start the season just scared the whole city, but they come back nicely like they did.
I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about their pitching. I don't think it's going to be as strong as we think it is.
That's the question, but Kev, I'm basing it all on this. May 1st. What's their record at May 1st? That's going to determine it for me. If they're 3 or 4 games under 500 at May 1st, I'm saying that's the season. I can't see nothing changing because what do they got in the freaking minors to come up?
And that's my biggest gripe with the Jays is
they got nothing to back anything up with.
No, this ownership group has not developed players in the minors, right? You don't have anyone to support.
And you know what? That was their key in Cleveland when they were in Cleveland. What was it?
That was their calling card, yeah.
Player development and bean counting. That was their freaking score. They came to Toronto. They know how to bean count. But what about the development part?
They're making money.
Yeah, of course they're making money. But remember when they came to Toronto, that was their big thing, and that's why they're trading Donaldson out of town. That's why they couldn't give it 10 time with Batista, because we develop players. Let's get these old guys out of here.
Edwin got the kick out the door right away.
What's that?
Edwin got the kick out the door right away.
There you start. That's what I'm saying. That's what their theory was. Don't worry about we're player development. Look what we're going to do. What have they done since they've been here? Now, they can say this. They had 3 playoff appearances. That's their big thing.
How'd those go? We didn't win a single game. We're seeing the San Fran Slugger jerseys. Very nice. Rover. Yeah. It's funny.
Look with the question mark. We did that for you. You know that, eh? That's going to be a thing all year long. It's an inside joke that
It's not. You've said it on the show, so it's not so inside.
Okay, thank you. You know what I think about Rovers, okay? I'd rather have a leprechaun on a unicorn,
okay? I thought you were going to say you like them as much as agents.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's hide. Agents are a Rover. Okay, I'll get back to you in a week.
So do you have the Jays making the playoffs?
No, but I think the 3 teams can make it in the, who did I say, the top 3?
You said
Baltimore, Yankees, and third. No, they're not going to make it. You know what I'm going to lead towards, though? Let's go out west. Who's going to make it 2 from the west? Seattle and Texas. After I just bashed the living shit out of them, because
you put Seattle to win the division.
Yes, 100%. Now after that, I think it's all garbage.
Well, you got to pick someone.
I'll take Texas. I regret even saying that already. You know what I mean? I was all week. I was sitting around yesterday afternoon or a couple afternoons ago, and I was looking at the bottom of the league, and I said, "What a bunch of fucking garbage!" And they want to expand. Give me a fucking break.
There's not enough talent in baseball to expand right now.
It's already worked down. Like you look at that.
We have a problem with 2 teams in the league. Like, I mean, okay, the A's, like I get it, that's being settled, but Tampa Bay's got to move before we talk expansion.
Yeah, I think it's off the table. It's a non-discussion.
Manfred said, and we've got to think about our expansion futures this week. I said, what? Shut the front door. Can you believe expansion? We're going to get the pitching.
He's horny to put a team in Montreal. We know that.
Oh, of course they are, because the money and the history, and then everyone breaks it in. So now that we've done all this prediction and stuff, and before Kev gets out of here, there's a couple of questions we got to ask you before you go. First of all is, what do you think about a salary cap coming to Major League Baseball?
It'll never happen.
Wow.
There's an accountant. Thank you very much. I've said this every day. I tell him I do not believe it's going to be a stoppage, though. This is going to cause a stoppage next year, which is going to derail everything in baseball.
2020 at the end of next season.
He's going to hit the wall. But I'm agreeing with you. Why do you tell him why you think there'll never be a cap?
There's too much money in baseball right now. Like the teams that can spend will continue to spend. A salary cap to try to even out the playing field. That's what the draft is for. That's what they get compensatory picks, because if they're not a big market. There's already checks and balances in place, and there's a tax impact too if you're over a certain level. There's already checks and balances, and I get it. The Dodgers, the Yankees, they go out and spend like drunken sailors. That's good for baseball.
I don't see anything wrong with it either. But I say, but here's what I get. Here's what my thing is. My main reason for the salary cap trouble is this. Okay? They just had to find what team to get up there so they wouldn't have, was it the A's or somebody? They just had to put more money in just so the NHL, the Major League, MLBPA didn't have a grievance against them to get they're going up there. So if you're going to have a salary cap, it's going to have a floor.
Yeah.
What about the teams that don't play up to the Cincinnati's, the Pittsburghs and all them, and they say the floor is here? They go, those owners are going to say, we don't want to pay it. And I think that's one of the reasons going to start killing the salary cap.
Do what you do in the NBA where you have the salary floor.
Yes.
And if they don't spend up to the floor, they have to distribute that amongst the players.
Well, you were saying before that's a problem.
What's that?
You think the salary floor is more of a problem?
That's what I think is a big drawback for getting a salary cap in, because some teams are going to say we don't want to pay to the floor. And look, it gets weird. Even look with the NHL. Look what Colorado's doing with their team, which they're smart. They're dancing around that whole cap thing. We'll bring this guy and we'll move this guy over.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Mark Stone scenario.
Shea Theodore this year.
Oh, yeah, okay. But you know what I mean? I just think that when
every team does it. The Leafs this year. Where's Max Pacioretty been? I'm sure we'll see him a couple times in the playoffs.
Oh, here we go. Well, that's and that's why that rule is not going to change. And that's why I'm with Pick. I don't think it's going to change just because of the great capitalist system of America too. But I just think I think it's more of what I'm getting at is the fact that all the things that you said and add on a salary cap floor, and we've got issues, but I do think it's going to be a cop-out. Before you go, the other thing I want to ask you about this is, what do you think about the starting pitcher in the league? I'll just say my take on it. When I hear that you pitch 150 innings and you're getting $50 million, stop it.
Yeah,
stop it.
What we're seeing, we saw last year where all these aces and top end pitchers were going down with injuries. They're all coming back this year. So you have your Spencer Strider, you have Alcantara on the Marlins, who's just going to get traded to the Yankees midseason.
Oh, you're killing me.
You have Shane McClanahan on Tampa, and there's one more that I'm missing. A lot of the front end starters. Oh, Shohei Ohtani. You have a lot of the front end starters going down with injuries, so I get it.
Well, Ohtani may never pitch again,
and he doesn't need to. He's unreal.
Yeah.
He's best player in baseball. What you're seeing real data that the guys are just getting hurt because of all the spin rate and the emphasis on velocity. If you get 150 innings every year out of your ace, or you have to go 2 out of every 3 years with him healthy, what are you going to take?
I think it's insane. On this much, we called progression in sports. People get better. People learn more. They do more shit. Now, I understand that the metrics and analytics have changed the way these guys are throwing at stuff. So if I'm an owner, I'm backing it up a bit and say, hey, guy, why don't you pitch a little more? I'll take the 250. I'll take the 200 innings. Like, you realize when I was a kid, when I was around your guys' age or younger, if you pitched 200 innings, you were a bum.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
You were a bum. If you were a starter and if you were saying at the beginning of the season you're going to be 200, they call you a bum. Now you get 150 innings, you get $50 million a year. Just does the cap. It doesn't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, what has happened here?
But you're not seeing them pitch 150 innings. You're seeing them in the 170 to 190 range.
I want my guy to pitch at least 200 innings now. You're not an ace for me. You got to give me 200 innings. You're getting 32 starts, bro. Help me out here. Otherwise, it's just wrecking the game, because what are you going to do? Then you got 25 guys in your freaking bullpen, and then those guys getting hurt. You keep rotating it around, and then you're going to tell me you're going to go to expansion. We don't have enough guys doing what we're doing, and now we're going to pile on.
I don't think you'll see expansion. I think, if anything, you're going to see expanded rosters at the major league level to help this. And that's going to be a way for the MLBPA to get a bit of extra players in the league.
So then I'm going to go with this. Andrew, this is where I'm going to take this, and I believe now. If we get an expanded roster, we're going to see 6-team rotation. 6-man rotations then. As soon as they go to that, because they'll go to 26-man, right? What is it now?
It's already 26.
Okay, the word is they're going to go to 28. If they go to 28, it's 6-man rotation.
Yep.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
What?
I don't think that's a bad thing.
But you're not getting enough out of your guys.
Would you rather take that or bullpen days?
The bullpen days are brutal to watch.
I just think it's just a product of being an old man. That's what I really think it's a product of, because I've had trouble adjusting this. I see the numbers going down, and I don't like the physicality of it all. I know the spin rate and all this other shit, but why can't you give me 200 innings?
Pick, I know you got to go soon. Before you go, lockout 2027 isn't going to happen.
I think they get to a resolution. There's too much money involved.
Okay. Anything else you want to add for baseball?
No, that's it. This is the best time of the year. Baseball, March Madness.
One more little question before you go. One more. We got to ask him about this. Where's our robo-ump coming in?
You know what? I think the fact that they're testing it shows that there's progression toward it. I don't think you're ever going to get away from human error or humans doing it completely. But I think we're now holding umpires accountable to get the call right, which is better, right? It's a step in the right direction. I don't want to take away from the humanity of the game, but we do. I think it's now there's a check and balance to hold these guys with bigger egos than any player on the field accountable. So I think it's a good idea.
The challenge will be in play next season.
What's that?
The challenge will be in play next season.
It's going to drive me completely insane. I was watching the game the other day, and the problem with Barrios in the game one is he had no break on his ball. You seen it was coming in. He couldn't get a break on his ball, and he got a couple of strikes in key situations that I looked over and said, what if the robo guy was here? I'm not so sure about that one there.
They're mentioning that on the radio, too.
What's that?
They're mentioning that on the radio, too, about the game.
Yeah, a couple of times you went, oh, boy, if the robo guy was here, I don't know about that one, so to speak. But, like, I'm with you. I don't want to take the human element out of the game. We've done enough. The pitch clock... The pitch clock was an amazing thing to do. I guess this 1 inch on the bags, that has opened up a little bit more. But guess what? They all want what? They all want offense. Offense hasn't gone up, guys. It's gone up, 2%. They're doing everything. We want more offense, more offense, more offense. Oh, pitcher's this. Bat swing, level. No increase in offense, guys.
It's also cyclical, so you see pitching taking more of an impact now. I don't know. Bring steroids back.
We've said that all juice league all the time. You look at it the other way, and you know what? I'll let you go on this. This is why we're saying where they are with the problem with the juice is. If you're too stupid to wash it, you're going to get caught. What's his name? Just got busted on Florida.
Yeah, Ekblad.
You know why he got busted? They're all doing it. Then you got to get 10 days to wash it. Oh, you came back in 7. You're busted. Stay off for the extra 3 days because it's all about the wash. You're all doing it. You know why did Austin Matthews go to Germany?
Hair plugs, I don't know.
That's in Turkey.
Whatever. But you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm just saying when it's a duck and it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, what is it? A squirrel?
So if you talk conspiracy, screen conspiracy.
I'm not. No conspiracy.
Wear your tinfoil hat.
No, there's no conspiracy
I
here.
think there's a conspiracy theorist in the room.
No conspiracy here. I'm just wondering. Sometimes I gotta question this shit. You know, it's in front of me. I'm older, and I go, "That is a duck, Kevin. That's a duck." I'm telling you, it's a duck.
All right. With that, thank you both for having me today.
A million,
Sorry I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but I do appreciate you guys having me on.
We'll have you back again before you know, but maybe at the All-Star break so that we can have a mid-season breakdown of all the mistakes that you guys made, and you'll know how right I really am.
And we'll be getting close to football season.
Thanks for making it, guys. Say hello to Mama.
I will. Take care, guys.
By the way, how was the Bahamas trip? Amazing, eh?
Bahamas trip was amazing. We'll catch up soon. I'm no longer working at Rexall, so I've got some career moves out there as well. So I'll give you a shout. I'll give you a shout this week.
Please do. I always like the chats, bye. Thanks for coming out.
Take care, guys.
You too. Take care.
Take care. Well, that's a big move, Kev. That's a big move. And welcome to the Sluggers. I've got to say, Kevin Pick is now a San Francisco Slugger.
He is San Francesco
over there. So where we're at next now?
We can take this right into the NBA.
Oh, interesting. Do we have our power rankings?
We do. So at number 10, I have those Pistons from Detroit. Number 9, I have the Indiana Pacers.
You're killing me.
Number 8, I got the Golden State Warriors, your wagon. Number 7, I have the LA Clippers. Number 6, I got the Denver Nuggets. Number 5, I got the Lakers. Number 4, I got Houston. Cleveland's number 3, Boston 2, and OKC number 1.
Okay, well, I only picked 8 because I thought all those teams sucked. I didn't want to put Golden State in there. I didn't want to put Indiana in there, and I should have put Detroit. But it's such a dog wash down there. I'm back to my 8 like I was a couple weeks ago. There's not 10 teams. The Clippers, I thought about them. What are they doing?
Clippers been pretty good.
Yes, they are. But then are they for real for the whole run? Kawhi looks like $1 million one game, and
they
next
could
game
win
you'll see him. What?
They could
if they get in, definitely. But you see Kawhi a couple of games lately? He's looked like Kawhi, and then the next game he's freaking on the sideline in a hoodie. And I love Kawhi.
I do too.
But it's frustrating for a team for him to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So, number 8, I got the Grizzlies.
I couldn't put Memphis on my list.
Well, then I should have put the Lakers.
They fired the coach.
What's that?
They fired the coach.
I know, but I'm still saying they're going to be there because they're going to be 10. That's how much I hate Golden State and Indiana. I think they're all frauds. I really do, but wait and see.
Indiana 7 was in the conference final last year.
Frauds. Got a good break last year. They're not doing it again. I got the Lakers at 7. I think they have some issues they have to clean up. But
they'll be fine once LeBron's back.
Yeah, well, he was back last night. They lost.
Okay, it's his first game. Give him a couple games.
I'm saying that maybe the New York Knicks at number 6 are starting to figure it out. Mitchell Robinson starting to get in there. Maybe I'm saying they could get in around.
No.
6. I have to give the Houston Rockets at number 5 because how do you say the coach's name again? Udoka. Guy's a great coach. He's revamped the team. He's moved around. Fred's coming back. They're doing good. Number 4 is the Nuggets. I got the Nuggets. Sometimes I say the Nuggets could re-win it if they tighten the screws right now. Number 3, I got the Celtics. Number 2, I got the Cavs. And number 1, I got OKC.
Boston 3.
Yes. I should have them at 2. I could have them at number 1 because I think they're another team that's just coasting their way to can't we get to the playoffs. You see some night Boston's playing. They're all laughing on the bench. How's your weed? What's your girlfriend doing?
They know they're fine. They're basically locked into that number 2 seed.
Oh yeah, and then they're such a team of confidence that they're not going to go away. Now, one of the things I don't understand is this. Interesting when Pick brought up about how many shots that Alabama takes. I'm going to take a look at it again. He says they makes the Celtics on an average make 17 threes a night.
Yeah. That sounds right.
And how many are they shooting? They're going to have to stay at that
around
level.
50.
But I'm saying the difference about and they haven't done it yet. But I'm saying one of the things that they have to worry about is if they have to go inside, they can go inside.
Yes, they can.
So and they play defense. So I think in the long run that they're going to be all right. You know what I mean? So and if they repeat, we won't be surprised. Okay. So but if we go around the league, I think Detroit's hit the wall, buddy. I think they've hit their peak. Like where are they going to go anymore? And they're playing like 10 men, and they're going to get in. I don't think are they in 6th right now?
5th.
No.
They passed Milwaukee because Dame is basically out for the season with blood clots. So there goes Milwaukee's season.
So that they're 5th, and they're going to be 4th. Who's 4th in the league right now? Indiana.
Indiana's 4th in the East.
So wouldn't that be interesting? Indiana and Detroit playing in the first round.
I think Detroit could take that.
I think they could too, but I'm just saying they seem flat lately. Last couple games I've seen.
They won their last 3 in a row.
Is it the 3 in a row, 2 in a row?
3 in a row.
Who did they beat, though?
Cleveland, the Spurs, and the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah, that's why. The Spurs is the only team that mattered. I mean, not just being Cleveland's the only team that mattered. I'm just saying they look flat to me. And when they played San Antonio, what was the score?
Oh, they smoked them.
They smoked the Pelicans, too?
So they beat the Pelicans 136-30. They beat San Antonio 122-96.
Yes. And then they beat Cleveland.
By 11.
I'm going to tell you this. I hope the Pistons go there, and I hope they beat them. I got huge love for the Pistons. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be there. But I'm just saying now that all the talk about there's been an uptick in the play in the NBA lately, and everyone's talking about how great the games have been. I think this is They should thank the National Hockey League for this.
For the 4 nations?
I think because all of a sudden an uptick, and all of a sudden everybody's playing, and all of a sudden there's all this positive talk around the NBA. And like I told you before, earlier in the year, how is it going to work? They're going to have a great playoff system, so we forget about that other 80 games and nonsense, and we're going to get fooled again.
I hope we get a great final this year, because it was a great playoff last year until the finals.
So that means we're going to need a Celtic OKC final.
Or Lakers Celtics.
Oh, I hope not. But
that's why. So you have to root for LA.
I'm not a big fan of either team, but I'd end up cheering for LA. Of course I would. But that's not the point. The point is that I'm thinking that the disrespect that OKC is getting right now is blowing my mind. They're still not like you hear around the talk around the league, the scuttle. Oh, we're gonna play OKC. Okay, no problem. Like how can you just
Who's
write
saying that?
Oh my God! I heard Perk say it one day on the NBA in the afternoon. What's
Perk's a little ridiculous.
I love him though. What's the game?
He says some outrageous stuff though.
Oh yeah, but I think sometimes he's right.
In this case, he isn't.
No, but I don't know.
But you're just defending OKC. What are you talking about?
What he's saying is, no, he's on my side.
Oh, okay.
He's on my side. He's the guy saying, when are you going to put some respect on OKC's name?
No, but who are these people that are dissing OKC, though?
They.
Who's they? The Boogie Monster?
Nobody wants to say it on record because they don't want to have what do you call it? Bulletin board.
Okay, then who cares then if they're not man enough to say it?
Then I say it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
When OKC kicks all your asses, why don't you come out and
There
be
you
man
go.
enough to say it? Because they don't.
Show us your balls, right?
That's exactly,
Yeah.
but they don't do it. Why? Because they're all little bitches.
Yeah, who cares
And look
then?
at how they play, and look at the metrics on every. First of all, defense wins. Look at OKC's defensive metrics.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? But the only team that I think the only team that should scare OKC is Denver.
No, the Lakers.
They're too big. They'll beat down the Lakers. They will beat them. I'll bet you any money. And I don't care about Sterling Sharp going UFC, KFC, OKC in 5. Have you heard him doing that one?
Of course.
Oh, it just drives me
I love
crazy.
that. It's hilarious.
funny. It is. The first time he said it, I said, what did he say? UFC, KFC, OKC in 5.
Like the one Waka Flocka, Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly. It makes for great television, but
Yeah.
I can't see the Lakers because they're not big enough in the middle. They got to deal with Harkenstein and
They got the
Holmgren.
defense and they got LeBron and Luka.
They got Harkenstein and Holmgren in the middle. They got Wiggins, Wallace, Dort, and who else? And I haven't even brought up the MVP. They play the best defense in the league.
They're going to the conference final.
They're going to hassle Luka till he runs back to Dallas. Okay, that's how I'm
Okay.
going to see it. You know what I mean? And there's any other way to look at the NBA. Right now, we're in the pause, dead zone. Because there's, 10, 12 games left?
Yeah, they're about.
So what are we waiting? Can we get to the playoffs, please?
Basically.
Can we wait to the playoffs? Now, I'm worried about Memphis. I'm surprised they fired the coach like that. But have you seen them play lately sometimes? I think part of the problem with
They're in danger of slipping into the play-in.
Ooh, and you know what the thing is? They can't get all their guys on the court at the same time.
That's number one.
Is that the coach's fault then?
I mean, if you should, like, your team should be playing like a unit. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, look at the Leafs. Matthews is out. Doesn't matter. They'll still win, right?
Point well taken.
One game with the one guy in the lineup should make that much of a difference, right?
I agree. We got a point there. You got a point. But I still say if they get in, they got a modicum of defense too, so they could do something like that. But as far as I'm concerned, as the NBA is
Depends
going,
on matchup.
yeah, oh yeah, matchups are huge. Matchups make great fights. But the bottom line is, I'm looking at it this way. As far as the NBA is concerned, I'm watching it, but I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm finding that nothing's going to really shake. Now, as it gets down the last 5 games, it's going to be more interesting to see who's going to get to the play-in or not.
So, speaking of
Good
the
bet.
play-in, do you think I just jinxed the Raptors last week with my take?
Probably. Yeah, did you go down and apologize to them?
I've been trying to reach Scotty Barnes. He won't return my calls.
Do you think it's crazy about the Raptors? A guy comes out like this, or the guy I never heard of the other day, 23 points and 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
Right back to the G League. What's up with that?
I don't know. I guess they're just like at the end of the season, they're just like, let's go in for next year, right? We have Ingram. We can't use him till next year.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's not going to. Your lottery chances now are no different anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So I like you being competitive. They won 3 games in a row.
I want them finishing ahead of Philly and Brooklyn.
Oh, that would be just great. But
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like, why not be competitive for the last 10 games?
Exactly.
Put it in the room. You know what I mean, guys? We mean it, because they could be the Houston of next year.
Yep.
That's how I'm looking at it. So let's hope that we do. Any other thing you want to say about this crazy thing called the NBA?
So the commissioner had a few interesting things to say this week. He said the cap is going up 10% next year. Not really a huge surprise. NBA is partnering with FIBA to start a Europe-based league. So NBA Europe might finally actually be happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll hear plenty of that down the road. And he surprisingly called the All-Star format this year a miss, which I appreciate him admitting to.
I love that to death. It's an honest man. They always say Adam Silver's honest. He's the most honest I've heard him be.
Yes.
And what I just previously said about what the NHL did, and he's looking over there, he's going, okay, because he's heard the scuttlebutt around the fucking country, what everybody's been saying. So what are you going to do? Try to defend that? No, tell the truth. What they haven't decided even what they're going to do next year.
They know they need
Anything's better than what they did this year.
USA versus the world.
Yes, it's got to come. It's,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the only thing they're going to go. What the other thing they were going to say about that too, that Adam Silver was saying about something about the streaming, and they're not worrying about it because they got the money because their contract isn't settled. How long is the NBA's contract now? Another 6 years or something stupid?
The CBA?
CBA.
Yeah, something like that. 6
or 7 years. So they were talking about, is there going to be a balance between the streaming and the money, which will make, from now on, their CBAs will be obsolete because they'll be all going to live in happily ever after. Do you believe that? Do you believe
I don't
that?
think they're exactly begging for bread.
No, but at the same time, I say something's going to shake with the fact that they better take the game more seriously because a lot of their attendance is down. Now, in the last week or so, it's gone up. Who takes these polls, by the way? Anyone ever called your house and say, are you watching a basketball game? But don't they have something at a place where they say on the streaming, they can pick it up, they know? Like if your PVR is set for something, then you're already keeping the ratings up.
That's something you sign up for.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, in Canada we have Numeris. You can sign up for it. They pay you like $1 or something, but...
What?
Yeah, that's how it works.
They pay me $1 for what?
To know what you're listening and watching.
Yeah, I'd be pretty repetitious. Imagine, this guy, basketball, football, hockey, golf, basketball, football, hockey, tennis, curling. He even watches curling. What are we going to get with that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So one last thing about basketball is this whole Stephen A. LeBron nonsense is just taken a whole nother level. Stephen A. has just been Mr. Petty.
Beyond petty now. And you know what it is? It's all for the rankings, in my opinion. And he just got the new contract. He just got his bag from ESPN. So why don't you just draw more people to yourself just so you can say, I'm Stephen A. Smith. I think it's pathetic, really, but a lot of guys have said this, and it's come out with a lot of older athletes, some on the record, some off, like Robert Griffin has been on there. I think Cam Newton and a few other guys have said this. Don't make it political and don't make it personal. You're a sports show. And Stephen A. did dance the line. He criticized Bronny, but he went a little bit too far. Look at how Bronny's been playing lately.
Yep.
So now what do you say, Stephen A.? You're looking like, what did Bronny get the other night, 39?
Something like that.
Insane game. But they said he's been working like double overtime to do it. And you know what the great thing I heard about the kid? He was pissed he missed a foul shot.
I like to hear that.
I love to hear it because I would have had a 40-piece. I missed a goddamn free throw like that. He was in the dressing room stomping going, I missed a free throw. Kid, you did good. No, I didn't. I missed that free throw. LeBron was proud of that. That wasn't LeBron's fault. That just came out of him naturally. So, and LeBron was very cool on Matt McAfee, and he made no reference to the ridiculousness that is Stephen A.
Why even bring a reference to it?
Exactly. Like, I mean, McAfee did not prod him. He just said a little this, and then that was the end of it. Which is what? Because it's not about that. It's about the show that they're doing here this day.
Exactly.
Correct? So anyway, Stephen A., I watch you less and less. Personally, I watch him less and less every day. And my PBR was recorded the other day. I looked up. There was 6 episodes of First Take on my PVR. I said, what? I saved one, the newest one, and just deleted all the rest. You know what I mean? Anyways, one of the reasons that we are here today at San Fran for our annual broadcast of the preseason is because we got to have a preseason look at the San Francisco Sluggers. Chesco, I keep getting it wrong. San Francesco Sluggers. And since we have Bo, we got Bo in the house. We got BOH who made it late. And we got to have this guy on the air due to the fact that I'm going to say no. In any event, it's a preseason for the Sluggers. Big guy, get on the microphone. What's going to happen with our team this year?
We're going to
get it closer.
Try and win it all. There you go. We lost last year.
Why did we lose last year in the finals?
I don't even remember. We just didn't.
Selective amnesia. I love that, eh?
I don't really remember the...
Oh, I seen the Rover jersey.
Yeah,
Bo.
Could have been the Rover thing. We had it. We finished first place in regular season, just couldn't get it done in the finals. We had our hands full with the Lucky Charms. Right? They had our number last year.
Are we in the same league or a different division?
We're in the same with, so far, apparently us and them are getting moved up. Automatically, the top 2 teams get moved up a division, but I talked to Sam hoping that we could stay. We lost, so why move up, right? We didn't win it.
I think we're going to have a better team this year because we've all played together.
Yeah,
we added Pick on here. We got Cody on here. We're just doing as our preseason. What are we going to do this year, guys? We're going to win it all? Exactly. How does everyone like the uniforms? Didn't we do good?
They're good.
I like them too. And the old lady's here, and I got Stanley here, so I won't take it much longer. So what do you say? Sluggers, 2025?
Yeah, 2025 champions. That's the goal.
So, guys, here's what we're going to do when you listen to this.
We hope
When's
we
the
get
first
there.
game?
May
We're going to
6th.
have a
Cruz, remind me. May 6th.
May 6th,
I'll try
okay.
and come out.
Every week we're going to have a comprehensive report on the team. I was a little bit soft last year because I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Now the gloves are on. So if you do some of the pathetic things I've seen our guys do this year, I'm going to remind them of those pathetic things that they did this year. When they do spectacular things, I'm going to remind them of the spectacular things they did. Is that not the way we should look at it as a Sluggers team? Anyways, we're looking for a great season in 2025, and you're drinking 0 beer.
Hopefully champions. Yeah, I got.
Cigars are done. I'm done with cigars. Any event, guys, thanks for being over here. Love the uniforms. Big guy, give us a San Fran 2025 in the microphone.
Yeah, San Fran 25.
Isn't he enthusiastic?
Champions.
Thanks for being here.
Sluggers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Go Blue Jays.
So
Yes.
we'll bring this to our trivia question brought to you by Steven.
Yeah.
Which MLB team has the best opening day win percentage? Thank you very much, guys.
Kansas City Royals.
You said that quick. You sound like you know it.
Kansas City Royals. Who is it?
I'll say St. Louis.
Those are my other guys. Both from Missouri.
Oh. Okay, so Steven actually gave the top 3. We were both wrong.
Okay.
Number 3 is Baltimore. They
forgot.
they are 74-50. Then Seattle, they're 30-19, so 6-12. And number 1 with the 641 win percentage, the New York Mets, 41-23.
Wow. I should have known about Baltimore because I was thinking Baltimore the same as the other one, so that's it. So anyways, there's a lot of commotion in the room because we are in a public place and it's probably going to go on the microphone, but we're going to get out of here on that note before it gets too crazy, correct?
Absolutely. Cruz, have a great week.
You do it too. Good luck to the Leafs tonight. Hi, my name is Cruz.
Yeah, that's my game of the week tonight, by the way, the Leafs and Kings. How about you?
Oh, I'll definitely be paying
Wow.
attention. Yes,
Okay.
I think it's going to be a huge game. And a big shout out to the college basketball games going on this afternoon.
Absolutely. I'm Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name is Cruz. Thanks for the chaos. What do? We
keep the vibe alive. Do you have a question? We'll answer it on the air. Send it to thehousethathappens@gmail.com. You can find us on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Podchaser, Boomplay, and SoundCloud. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and on X at House Happens.